Hi friends, I'm Prairie Vintage. My name's Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube. I use spirits, my intuition, and the tarot to communicate energies to you guys, beautiful viewers. Today's reading will be taking a look, a deep dive into you versus your person, the person on your mind, the person you came here about. And we'll see if we can get an objective truth looking at both sides. Either throughout this connection or just how you are and how your person is and how you guys might be impacting each other. So 3 options to choose from for today's reading, and I do have a feeling this reading might be quite lengthy. So get your tea and get your water, get whatever it is that you need, and let's get into this reading. Option 1, we have this crystal slab. Looks like a geode of sorts. I'm not sure what sort of stone it is. Beautiful. All right. Option 2, we have this selenite wand. Gorgeous. Option number 3, we have this lepidolite tower. No, my goodness, lepidolite. Look at me. Lapis lazuli. Okay, the lapis lazuli. I don't know why I said lepidolite. Maybe there should have been 4 piles. I would be here till midnight. So, lapis lazuli with the gold flecks. Absolutely beautiful, super heavy. Take a look at these 3. All right, whichever one you're called to. Now, I do want to mention, as most of my readings, when I look at you versus your person, I do intend on the first energy that I read be your energy, and then the second energy be your person. But the energies are interchangeable, so if you resonate more with the your person side, then that certainly could still be your pile. All right, and sometimes it comes through as a higher self, lower self. So if that's the case, then that might come through as well. So only take the messages that resonate. Do not make anything fit. This is a general reading, so not everything will be 100%, although the general gist of the energy should be something that is fitting your story between you and your person. All right, so I'll leave you with these 3 piles. The timestamp will be in the description box and in the pinned comment below. I will see you guys at your pig. Hello, my most beautiful pile number 1. You picked this geode crystal slab. Not sure what sort of crystal it is, but it's absolutely beautiful. All the striations in there, browns and blues, pinks, greens. I don't know if you guys can see all that. Anyway, this is your crystal. I am going to put that right here because I will need as much space as possible here, because we're looking at you versus your person, the person on your mind, the person you came here about, and we're trying to get the objective look at what's going on with you, and then what's going on with your person, and then maybe how you guys are impacting each other in this connection. This could be just overall as a person here, okay? And we don't know what will come through, but I do know that sometimes we get our higher self, lower self. So if that's the case, then just take that as it resonates. If you are tapped into your own energy solely, and you can interchange. If I say this is you and this is your person, then just switch the energies. But I will start this off as being your energy, and then we'll take a look at your person objectively. Okay, so don't make anything fit. It should fit the overall story of what you're understanding to be your story. Okay, so let's take a look at you first, and then your person, and see what comes up. So I do want to mention, I have not looked at these cards. I just shuffle them. Whatever came out, and I ask Spirit to give us an overall objective look at you versus your person. Okay, so we got transformation with 42. The energy of transformation supports our ability to gracefully flow through times of transition, allowing the old to make way for the new. This is reminding me a lot of the center of this crystal here. Transformation. Okay. We can have Scorpio coming through here. A change of heart with eclipse in Taurus. 26, re-evaluation. Look at all those beautiful sunflowers. Big heart here, see-through heart. Eclipse in Taurus, or the number 8. We have service. Virgo coming through with this one. Orange represents the sacral chakra. Service. And we have surrender comparisons with other people. Keep your eyes trained on yourself. Focus on your own strengths, attractiveness, and power. I'm getting the urge to sneeze. I don't know if it's going to come through. Maybe not. Okay, we have empathy. I am open to seeing both sides of a situation. We have the sign of Leo coming through. Self-confidence. This is the energy I was feeling here with all the yellow. Confidence. Taking a chance on, and sorry, self-confidence to create, taking a chance on, and resulting from the impressiveness of. We have the one who hides the sun, number 8, the gold sun here. And then we have this cat in between the star and the sun, and the star is crying. Star is Aquarius energy. Cat could be Leo energy as well. Feline energy. Okay, we have 17 or 8 coming out again. So we have 8, 8, 8. Make believe with the rat. Okay, make believe. We have dough. Okay, we have make. It says, the reddish dwarf planet of the Kuiper Belt, an area beyond Neptune's orbit, composed of small icy bodies and larger objects like Charon, Pluto, etc. Make is probably covered with frozen methane, slightly elongated in shape. Unlike Pluto, it is devoid of atmosphere and has no natural satellite. No known natural satellite. Looks like a lot of speculation we're making here on this. Okay, just taking a look at this discovery in 2005. Reddish dwarf planet in Kuiper Belt, an area beyond. Okay. We have Jupiter. Jupiter is the ruling planet for Sagittarius and Pisces. Number 6 coming out. Again, got 2 6s and 3 8s. We have spider energy, and this is Earth energy, which is Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, although I'm not getting a lot of that. I'm getting heavy Scorpio coming through again with this spider energy. Okay, we have rest. Aquarius coming through with this. 4 of Swords coming through with this rest. Also picking up a lot of High Priestess energy coming through, which is Pisces. Yes. Okay, so we have this, the Balancer 31, or the number 4, the yin-yang, and then we have the butterfly indicating this transformation here. Feeling heavy Aquarius, Scorpio energy from this, the Balancer, and then of course Libra. Soar beyond all limiting concepts and embrace your spiritual self in the place beyond female and male, where we all truly are one energy. Okay, self-balance, masculine, feminine, the yin, the yang. We have engagement ring, engagement, partnership, commitment, eternity, completion, and union. I'm going to sneeze. Ooh, okay. I don't know why I'm sneezing all of a sudden. We have the mystic, light attribute, revels in intimate union with the divine. Shadow attribute, delusional rapport with the divine. We have the acolyte, new projects and learning. Scroll rolled up here, and then 2 hands carrying this urn. And it looks like the sun is peeking out from behind. More Leo energy. I'm getting all stuffy all of a sudden. And we have 55 with the gem, or the number 10. Okay, hopefully you guys can see that there. Now you guys can see why I couldn't put your person out here. We needed to do one at a time. We have 10-10 with reunion, reconciling differences. The yin-yang coming through here with the black and the white squirrel. 10-10 reunion. Okay, let me just check that I'm in a good frame. I think this is good. Okay, give me a little bit to tap into your energy. Like I said, if this is more your person, then you'll be in the next pile of cards, but I'm going to see if I can tap into this, okay? There's a lot going on here, actually. Okay. So this energy, I'm feeling it's more personal to you, okay? And it's kind of like the purpose, I guess, or the karmic lesson, if you want to call it that, because we are doing a relationship reading, but this is more personal to why maybe you're in this journey, or met this person, or just where you're kind of at in your own journey. Take what's resonating here, but I feel like whatever's happened within this connection or up until this point in your whole life here, is to put you on the path of identifying a part of yourself that I feel has not yet been revealed to you, because it's been within you. I mean, we're whole and complete from the day we're born. We're never lacking anything, although after conditioning and experiences, we might tend to forget who we're supposed to be authentically. And over the years of whatever happens in our life, we get further and further away sometimes of identifying our true magic, our true authentic purpose, and our greatness, and what we're supposed to be doing here on planet Earth. So I feel a very beautiful energy here. Hang on, I need a tissue because my sneezing and now my nose is already. Okay. Sneezy McSneezerson. So there is great purpose, and it could possibly be within this connection, or just this connection was much needed in order for you to find what this purpose is. So take what's resonating. We will obviously look at your person as well to see what's going on really, past your own sort of energy and their energy as a union, or if this person just was kind of a catalyst here and triggering something within you, because I feel like you are coming to the most authentic version of yourself, and in this discovery, you're going to find what your soul purpose is for creation. So you're being called here on earth to create something absolutely wonderful. And I do feel it is something that is giving to others out of a genuine place of love. And there is an ability for you to stand in your authenticity here very confidently, without any of the burdens or doubts or heaviness that you have felt in the past. Maybe trying to figure out the best thing for you, or who you are, or what you stand for, or what you value. And so I feel like there's been a lot of wandering energy at some point in time. And maybe there's been some, getting in your own way of peace, getting in your own way of finding your calling, getting in your own way of doing what it is that you love here. So I feel like this connection or this journey has brought you to really look at balancing yourself, the good, the bad, the stuff we don't understand, and the stuff that we're welcoming. And what this is going to do, if you have not yet got to this point, is allow you, once you're on that path of understanding and accepting and integrating and transcending a lot of what was holding you back and building the confidence, you're then going to create something here to the world that is absolutely beautiful. Okay, so you might be reviewing everything in your life that doesn't serve you or that you've dedicated yourself to, that you're now, my nose, I'm sorry, that you're now, I'm going to just pause so I can clear my nose. I'll be right back. Hi, pile one, sorry about that. Just a tickle in my nose. All right, so I'm sneezing. So I feel like, I don't know what I was saying, but what's coming through is that maybe up until now you were living a lifestyle or filling a role, okay? And maybe providing a level of service to, the world based on how you're showing up. Maybe you had a career or a lifestyle or just filling a role here that was more action based. And I feel like up until recently, you're now seeing what you can no longer sort of pretend or what you can no longer avoid. And so I feel like you are learning a lot here about being authentic. I feel like you're learning a lot about spirituality and trusting spirit and working with the divine. And maybe, for the first time, maybe you've tapped into spirituality. I don't know that you've always been spiritual so much, but maybe now from this connection here, maybe you've been more tapped into unspoken energies, spirits, synchronicities, and trying to find a greater purpose here on earth for yourself and a calling for yourself here. So it would require you to be confident in who you could be once you shed a lot of what is not you. So I know from personal experience, when we no longer identify with certain parts of ourselves, we might then live in a void of not knowing really who we're supposed to be, but we shed everything we're not. And it is important for us to kind of deconstruct so we can then make space for our true self to come out. We do not have to go seeking who we are. Who we are is always within us. So I do feel like this message is for you guys who might feel detached, although you might be certain of things that you might have done that you're no longer wanting to do or you're no longer connecting with. And so I think it comes with great sadness, but I feel like some of you guys are also kind of maybe wandering in some way, like, do I have to continue to go down a path that's not aligned for me, or do I have to go seeking something or be something in order to find what that is, or be more spiritual or do something? And Spirit saying, no, there is no need for you to go hardcore seeking spirituality. You are spiritual. There's no need for you to, do hours and hours of trying to identify your calling. Your calling is going to come to you. The only thing that Spirit is showing here is for you to stay very present and aware of what you are not and what you might just be kind of doing based on conditioning, based on how you are or have been, I should say, for maybe all your life. That doesn't serve you. And it might have at some point, and it might have made sense, and you might have connected authentically to that as your identity or showed up that way, although it was a construct of conditioning and a construct of the matrix and a construct of ego. Okay, because underneath all that, I feel there is a person here who is on the verge of creating something absolutely beautiful. And this is going to bring great abundance materially, physically, financially, emotionally. I feel there is you now in the driver's seat of this creation here, okay? And I don't feel like this has always been the case, but I feel like it's coming from a place of you giving, okay, to others, and you coming from a place of love and coming from a place of no longer trying to fill some or catch up to something that is in the future for yourself, but you're now ingrained in the present. You're now ingrained in allowing yourself to shine through and let things ride. So I feel there is a strong confidence that you build upon because of this. And I feel like with this reconciling differences, I feel like all the parts of yourself that maybe you weren't wanting to see or didn't feel like made you happy. Maybe we've repressed some of it or thought we didn't need it. We weren't sure why we might have felt certain ways. I feel like you welcome all parts of you, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything else that allows you to accept yourself. And this gives you great confidence because parts of ourself that we try to suppress, that we ignore, or that we don't want to see, tend to scream loud when we do that because it needs to be acknowledged. It wants to be loved, and it wants us to work with a part of our insides that are coming through to the surface. Okay, so depending on how long we've suppressed parts of ourself, it might have been screaming very loud and maybe leaving you quite unhappy at some point in your life, or not knowing what to do with that energy. So it's interesting because normally I'll write on my hands here kind of energy I'm feeling before every reading. This one I wrote, how am I that I see? How am I that I see? And I think this is connecting to this reading. And sorry, I didn't intend on this being so psychological or whatever you want to call it. But this is how this reading's coming out. Very spiritual in nature, this reading. But how am I that I see? I feel as though your external world is something you're seeing in front of you. And now you're understanding that everything you're seeing is a projection of your inner self in front of you. So things you see that you love are part of you. Things that you see that you are not loving or that are triggering are also a part of you. So when we get triggered, or when we get sort of seeing things we don't like, instead of maybe just getting frustrated or triggered or not acknowledging it, we go within and we ask, how is that what I'm seeing here a part of me? How am I that way? Okay, so how am I that I see helps us to connect with everything and everyone that's external to us, to know that we are one and that we carry the dark and the light. And the more we get triggered by things and people here that, are really causing us suffering or pain or whatever it is, we have to make peace with it within ourselves, or at least acknowledge it within ourselves, and learn to integrate that side of us that we might have ignored or suppressed in order to expand, ascend, grow from this. So I feel like there is lots of transformation here. I feel like there is heavy reevaluation about who you are, what your purpose is, facing, because sunflowers turn and face the sun. Okay, the one who hides the sun. So I feel like turning to the sun is getting clarity, certainty, pointing towards our happiness, and being clear and confident about what it is for our future and our wishes and our hopes and our long-term vision for ourselves, who we are and what we want to do. So I feel like you've been in the way, maybe things that have happened, or maybe your lifestyle or something you've been dedicating yourself to might have been getting in the way of your certainty, your clarity, your joy, and it's made you quite heavy and sad. So it could be that this connection got in the way of this. I don't know. Okay, or is getting in the way, and it's making it very apparent to you that there is joy for you, that there's happiness for you. And now it's become very evident that either I can stay in this connection or in my everyday life and get more annoyed and irritated, gnawing at me that there's a greater truth under confusion, and pretend that everything's okay, although I'm not feeling certainty, happiness, and I'm not confident here in the position I'm in. Or I can welcome the fact that I need more, that I'm confident enough to claim more for myself, and enter a period of, with this dough, it's like vulnerability, not knowing, relearning, being an infant again, exploring here from a very innocent, sort of vulnerable perspective. Okay, and this is also feminine energy, which is very receptive. It is no longer, so although we have lots of Leo and confidence, and that's more, the sun is kind of more masculine because it's getting empowered to act in some way, but I feel like I feel the sun is coming through more as a happiness and a clarity and a certainty that we need to be more receptive. We don't go chasing or having to force things to happen. You know, it's good to take action in our life for sure, but what's meant for us will weigh nothing. What's meant for us will be for us. We do not have to force it. We do not have to chase it. We do not have to convince it, pressure it, keep planning for it. We just allow it to be, which is a very receptive energy. And being in that is a need for balance here. And so I feel like that's what you're learning and doing. And I feel like by doing this, you're then telling the universe, I'm now ready to create something bigger than myself, to give to humanity something bigger than myself. Okay, so I don't know what this beautiful gift is that you're ready to create. And for all of you guys, it could definitely be different because we all have special abilities and service we're supposed to provide here to humanity. Some of us could be, you know, relationship counselors, tarot readers, whatever it is, you know, provide people with a service of whatever that thing is that you're here to do. It now becomes very clear to you, and you then develop the confidence to run with that thing. Okay, so, and it could be multiple things. So we might not know beyond a shadow of a doubt what the end goal is, but we're okay with how it rolls out. We have the confidence to say, I might start off as, I don't know, a tarot reader, you know, on YouTube, but end up, I don't know, like being, you know, maybe a yoga teacher in some studio somewhere at some point in time, and it kind of evolves or morphs as we grow spiritually. So I feel like there has been a lot of contemplation specifically around your future and what you want and what you desire. And I do feel it's been triggered by this connection. And I do feel like at some point you've been in hiding or in your acting out of your, you know, your false self in some way, you know, and sometimes we don't want to believe we're in a false self because it feels very true and real. And it is true and real in the matrix world, but underneath that, there's an authenticity. So you might have been pretending a lot here. You know, maybe there's a lot of convincing about who you should be and how you should be and what you physically do as a reflection of identifying it as self, which we know is not who you are. You are so much more. That is not a reflection of what you're doing day in, day out that makes you who you are. Okay, so I don't have to tell you that because I feel like this is already something you've learned or are definitely in the process of learning. And so I feel like your true self here is a gem, okay, is a gem. And everyone is authentically themselves underneath a whole lot of conditioning. But I feel like you're finally tapped into it. You're finally able to shine. You're finally able to, despite what's going on around you, despite your environment, despite everything that's happened, you're now seeing yourself maybe for the very first time. No longer as an external seeking of who you should be or chasing of what you need to understand. You're understanding it, which I feel is absolutely beautiful. And there's a level of commitment here, okay? And this is a commitment and a union, okay? Because when we come into balance, reconciling differences, coming into balance, we then can show up in the world to have whatever we want. Because when we're perfectly balanced, I mean, no one's ever perfect, but when we recognize how to become balanced within ourselves, this is giving me a very strong 9 of Cups, 9 of Pentacles energy, which is standing on our own, integrating, okay, so lots of Chariot energy coming through and Temperance, and being able to be in that energy so we can create the future we want, the relationship we want, manifest the things we want without pressure, without a whole lot of sadness and pretending and getting tired. So it's an exciting path you're on here because I feel like you're still in some sort of, like I said, new energy here, new projects, learning the dough, you know, still learning to walk. And so it could be frustrating. You could be tripping on yourself in some instances here. And so it might be, you know, taking a step forward and falling and then thinking we're going backwards, but Spirit's showing here that you're not going backwards. You're transitioning and transforming into beautiful, beautiful energy here of authenticity that's going to take you a while to figure out how to walk. before you can run and fly and turn into a real solid person in your field so you can be a leader. Okay, so nothing really came through with that connection, but maybe this is what you're identifying with energetically because of having met this person, or just, like I said, maybe for some of you guys, this person was getting in the way or making it very evident for you what this sort of journey was needing to happen. So you could take this as, you know, your karma in some way of something that you were needing to learn here in this connection about yourself. Okay, so lots of energy here. Let's take a look at your person, and we don't know if it's going to come through the same way or if it's going to come through more tied to this connection. And if this isn't something you're resonating with, then, you know, like I said, it could be that you guys are crisscrossed here. So pile one, your person. Okay, what's going on? What's the objective truth here going on with this person? Joy, 28, or the number 10. The energy of joy activates our feelings of happiness and well-being and supports a high vibrational frequency in our being. We have Sun and Leo. Look at them. Talk about joy and celebration. Look, joy. Like, I do not pick these. This is very synchronistic. Oh my goodness. I love when Spirit does this. It just gives me chills. It's so amazing. Okay, so we have number 5, joy, a time of celebration and success. Sun and Leo. Okay, heavy Leo energy coming through. Beautiful. Leo is divine masculine as well, because the sun is divine masculine energy coming through as confidence. We have destiny, the yin, the yang, the black and white. We have surrender to creativity, and then we have this woman holding up a mirror and all these butterflies. Butterflies all about transformation. Let your imagination soar. Stay open to all creative ideas about how to pursue a dream or solve a problem. Let's put that there for now. We have health. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. We have the moon. Defend, accept, let your feelings tell you how to. Moon is divine feminine energy. So now we have the sun and the moon. And we have spirits to guide you, number 70. 6 hands. Opening a door here. Spirits to guide you. Okay. How am I going to do this? I have lots of cards that are going to want to come through. Okay, salamander. And we have Neptune. So it says Neptune was the first planet to be discovered through mathematical calculations and not by observation. Closely resembling Uranus due to its blue color and dimensions, this ice giant is the 8th planet of the solar system. It travels all the way around the sun in 164 years, and its atmosphere features violent winds blowing up to 1,000 kilometers per hour. Well, Neptune represents Pisces here. It says it was discovered in the year 1846. Okay, Neptune energy. Dreamy energy. We have Ash, 33 coming out, or the number 6. We saw 6 hands. 6 is a balanced number. 6 is, equal reciprocity. 6 could be the Lovers in the tarot, which is about a choice, a destined choice. And Ash is kind of the aftermath when we experience something here that might never be the same. Okay, so we have Ash coming through. We have Gazelle. And we have the octopus. Okay, so I'm getting water energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces coming through again. Gazelle's coming as fire energy, Aries, Leo, Sag, although I am getting Earth as well, okay? Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. So we have forgive. Okay. We have the escapist with number 7. It says, or 52, I should say, sorry, 52 and number 7. It says, you or someone you care about may seek refuge in escapist behaviors when faced with limits, difficulties, or sorrow of some sort. Okay. We have self-indulgence, focus on self, self-worth, time to heal, shadow work, and self-appreciation. And we have advocates, light attribute, inspires you to put compassion into action. Shadow attribute, embracing negative causes or committing to causes for personal gain. We have the hunter, sure-footedness and predestination. Getting heavy Scorpio energy from this one. I'm also getting Taurus energy from this. Okay. We have the sustainer, 24, or the number 6 coming out for a third time. So I have 666. Sustainer. I'm getting Libra energy. And we have clearing karmas with Kundalini activation. 6, 6 again. Lots of 6s. So how many 6s did we see here? I think 5. So you might want to Google 5 6s and then put angel number and see what your message is. And if you want, you can put that below so we know what your angels here are trying to communicate. Okay, so this is your person's energy here. And like I said, it could be higher self, lower self, however it comes out to you. Or you could be in this pile and your person in the other. But I'm going to read this as your person, okay? So it's interesting how these came out because it isn't connecting the two of you guys very much because I just see this person and kind of what they're experiencing here in their life. And I do feel as though the way I'm reading this is because of this connection, this person has now been exposed to this. And I feel like because of this connection, you were exposed or on the journey of which was the journey you were exposed to in the first bit of this reading. So what sort of journey is this? Well, I'm going to read Salamander because I do feel called to do that before I get into it. So give me 1 sec to get to Salamander, and then we will, I think it's dreams, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Salamander, meaning your alchemical process, harnessing your internal flame. Okay, the alchemical thought, the salamander is strongly linked to the element of fire and plays a catalytic role in the process of alchemy. The poisonous bodies of salamanders are sacrificed to complete the philosopher's stone, which is a great work of such a practice, symbolizing the perfection of enlightenment. The arrival of this amphibious friend means your internal fire is now required for your own alchemical transformation. Sometimes it is important to reflect on what ignites our internal flame, what inspires you, excites you, makes you come alive. Often feelings of fear, excitement, and anticipation go hand in hand. Move closer to this combination of emotions now. In this chapter of your life, it is necessary to push the envelope and challenge yourself by stepping outside the bubble of comfort. You are ready. You already know what exists there. Try something new instead. Okay. Interesting, because this could be, you know, kind of a higher self, lower self type, because the other first part was more of what was going on kind of in your physical matrix world and like pulling you out of that to come to some sort of different energy. But anyway, okay, so you guys are mirroring each other, okay? And I don't mean doing the exact same things, and you might not even be in the same point in the journey. But what this connection has done for this person is woke this person up from, I think, a very stagnant place in their life or a phase which could no longer be the same. So they had to acknowledge that either they could stay in the mundane or stay in whatever they've created for themselves, but it was no longer something that allowed them expansion. It was no longer something they could work with in that environment, in that sort of energy. So this connection is allowing this person to dream big, to fantasize about what could be out there for them. And maybe up until this point, this person never envisioned something more for themselves. Okay, they didn't really maybe need it, or they just didn't, I mean, they didn't need it, they didn't think they needed it, or they didn't feel as though whatever was out there was something that they could ever keep for themselves in some way. So I do feel like this person might have physical ailments, or might be physically impeded here in some way. So it could be that this person uses a lot of escapist things in their day-to-day life. Okay, that could be lots of distractions physically. So I don't know, like maybe they engage in a lot of parties, drinking, distractions, things. Okay, and I feel like it's taking a toll on this person's physical health, mental health. And also I feel like this person might have started to think in a certain way, and their physical world started to sort of be formed in a way that, I don't know, that's kind of supported this type of a lifestyle or this belief. And so I feel like through this connection, this person was awakened. Okay, there's a catalyst to this person to seeing that this connection open their eyes to know that there is joy outside of what they continue to do day in, day out. Because I feel like this person was a people pleaser in some way, or at least somebody who was very routine. Okay, I feel like this person might have had like, a consistent job, or just a consistent routine in what it was that they were doing and working on. And it's kind of the same old thing. I'm getting very steady, dependable, okay, earth energy here. And I feel like there's a fire within this person that's wanting more, that's wanting joy, that's wanting happiness, that wants to celebrate a part of themselves that maybe they shut down, that maybe went ablaze at some point in their life. So this person might be somebody who, this is coming through, was in a connection, okay, maybe for a long time, maybe, and it might have ended in divorce or separation. And so this person just chose to live alone, or be alone, or not find any connection, and accept the fact that they were meant to be alone, or were supposed to be alone, or just is whoever they connected to, finding within themselves to allow themselves to get through challenge. Okay, because they might have experienced a lot of challenge in that separation, or going through whatever that was. And for those of you guys where this person isn't divorced or separated or had any real connection, it could have been that this person just gave up on love, or not seeing it as something that they wanted. So maybe they come from a broken home, or they just didn't feel as though two people could find an ultimate joy here outside of what they thought they could kind of find or live on their own. Okay, I'm feeling a very consistent energy of somebody here who might have just given up on connection in some way. So I feel like this person, not only are you guys mirroring each other in self-growth, so I do feel a very strong kind of like a twin flame thing happening here, although connection is always about, mirroring back to one another, depending on, if we're receptive enough to be triggered to make the changes, because sometimes we don't recognize, again, how am I that I see, right? So we might not see in the other person how we are, because everything we see out there is within us. So I feel like not only was this you guys mirroring each other, but this connection was a mirror to this person to really take a look at self. How are they maybe giving of themselves day in, day out, that is not allowing them to reach a full potential of happiness, to celebrate outside of service, or outside of a physical thing here that might be bringing them superficial happiness here, self-indulgence. So this person might be a hedonist. I don't know. They might like to, like I said, party, drink, immediate gratification in some sort of surface matrix level. But maybe spiritually, this person hasn't tapped into a greater level of joy, bliss, connection, oneness. Okay, so there is a part of this person I feel as well that might be very much with this advocate. Maybe there's something here that this person has been fighting for, like a cause. I feel a very strong-minded person here. So they might have been dedicating themselves to a cause, to a belief, to accomplishing something here. And I do feel like it could be for humanity, or it could be for the good of humanity, or making a change, seeing a change in the world here. But I feel like a big part of their commitment to this, although it was something that they wanted to do for humanity, it was really a need for them to look at themselves. So I feel like there was a lot of outputting of energy towards this thing that they focused themselves on. And it could be that they dedicated their life to a cause, okay, or that they put in a lot of their energy that they weren't getting from source, because they shut out this energy. So connection and whatever sort of joy that they were missing out on in their life, they were outputting all of their energy towards, speaking out about something, or advocating on something, or energetically living a life of dedication, I feel, of purpose towards whatever this thing is. So this person might have a cause, okay, that they are very close to, or they've committed themselves to, or are very passionate about, which I feel is authentic. But I feel like the desire to commit solely to this thing is because this person was shut out from another part of themselves within them that they have to come to terms with, or have to connect with. So I feel like this person might have not have let themselves dream, might have not have let themselves fantasize about a better future, might have not have tapped into parts of themselves that were buried deep inside in order to reflect and trust in spirits. So this person might have been someone who would just kind of take action in the material world, not really see beyond, physical action here, which is, emotions and spirituality and energy and connecting to the divine, and understanding that, having dreams and fantasizing about a better future, but still being grounded, is still acceptable here. Okay, because I feel like this person might have shut themselves down to the thought of a better, joyous future, of things that were mystical or magical, such as spirit and energy in some way, right? If they didn't see it or feel it, then it might have not have existed so much for this person. So I feel like this person is somebody who is very headstrong, okay? Somebody who might have known exactly where they were going and what they wanted in life. And I feel like this person, like I said, has a cause, or is involved in a cause here. And so this connection, I feel, is triggering for this person, and they could have experienced a Kundalini activation in this connection, and maybe they wouldn't be able to communicate what that is exactly, because it could be, a slow rising of a Kundalini, which is giving life within ourselves. It's energy rising. Okay, energy rising from ourselves so that we become closer to spirit, so we can drop things in our lower chakras. So this feels very divine masculine type energy, okay? And that would include addictions. That would include working on, more of the root chakra type stuff. So where are we sort of just living our life rather than understanding that there's something greater, okay? That there's a whole lot of other dimensions here in spirituality that we could tap into, and we're not just kind of impulsive and doing day in, day out motion. So I don't know that this person's confidence is all the way up there yet, and it might be that this person wasn't really focused on having to build self-confidence or anything like that. I feel a very focused person in a matrix type world of, I don't know, but being very disconnected from a part of themselves, okay? So I feel like it's a journey for this person to forgive lots of past behaviors within themselves, things that have happened to them. And like I said, if they were involved in a connection here that's left them feeling like they couldn't love again, how do they ever forgive and get past this? So this is kind of the karma, okay? Because now I feel like this person now has the opportunity to see another connection with you, okay, or just a connection with you, and now having to recognize why they cannot be open to receive this joy. Why could they not be open to receive abundance? Because they'd have to connect to all sorts of emotions here that I feel they have not yet been able to tap into or acknowledge or receive. So a lot of forgiveness of self, forgiveness of maybe, you know, their caregivers, if there was, again, come from a broken home, or needing to make friends with their emotions so they're open to it, so they could see and welcome it, okay, and allow themselves to open themselves up to connection here. So destiny in this book, it talks about the two here, masculine, feminine, okay, they were wanting to be together, and so they appeared before council, and they wanted to be granted permission to be together, and they were denied. And I think it was a challenging story for the two to come together and want to be. And I feel like they appealed that decision and pressed forward and trying again to come together. And then it became approved that they got to finally come together in some way. So I feel two things with this. This could be not an easy connection. Maybe you and your person, this person, have not yet come together because of challenges. And I also feel like this is representative of this person might have had a chance to make something happen here. Like I said, it could be a failing relationship or experience something that didn't work. So they tried it once and then they might have gave up on this idea, okay? Or they might have witnessed a lot of people in their life that didn't quite work in connection, and just come up with an idea that all connections suck or all connections fail, or I'm not the one here that would require any sort of energy from a connection. So there's a giving up energy here. And then now here comes, you know, someone which I feel, they feel a lot of joy. They've been triggered and awakened to a fire that they see here. So it's like a second attempt here into, you know, having connection and being open to that. So I am feeling from this person, they might be somebody who hasn't jumped in, who might be quite curious, you know, about this connection specifically, but is hesitant. I might get spooked very easily here, but I do feel as someone who's very intellectual. Okay, I feel like it's somebody here, like I said, divine masculine, because I feel this person is quite logical. I don't feel like this person is impulsive. I don't feel like this person is very in tune with their own emotions, although I do feel a very deep person. It could be that this person never allowed themselves to dive into the depths of feeling, okay? Allow themselves to be open to emotions and feelings, because logically they might have told themselves a story, a narrative here, what makes sense to them. So someone very intellectual here, okay? And I do feel like maybe this person works a lot with their hands. Okay, so this person could be an artist, musician, a carpenter, a builder, a creator, okay, and very intellectual. So they might like poetry, they might like reading, they might like information, literature, writing, yeah, lyrics. This person's connected to words. They might have a very large vocabulary. So all of the parts of this person, I feel that no longer serve them, they're having to recognize and deal with. I feel like there's a big part of this person that has died a long time ago, that they've been sitting in. And maybe they didn't recognize that they were sitting in ash, sitting in black and white for quite some time. And so there's a need for them to, but I don't even feel the need for them. I feel like this connection's now made them see where things are black and white, and see that there's things that are in color. So a lot of what they're dealing with is a long, long time of an energy that they've been accustomed to here with the oak leaves and the acorns. I feel like they've built a certain identity for themselves, a certain pattern, a certain level of service that they were giving to themselves day in, day out, day in, day out. And I feel like it's killed them in some sort of way. It's killed their fire, their spark. It's killed a hope, a desire, a fantasy, because I feel like this person gave up on understanding that there was life. And this is so magical when we start to see vibrant colors, when we start to connect to our emotions again, that it isn't just about logical steps, that it isn't just about an output here in the world, but connecting back to spirit and divine. Because once our physical bodies leave, we're still energies that go on. Okay, so I feel like this person might be struggling with health here. Okay, and it could just be, like I said, maybe they're a hedonist here, take part in things here that might be impacting them physically and mentally. And I feel emotionally this person has been very much disconnected or suppressed here, which has led to a lot of triggers. I don't know that this person talks a lot. Okay, I feel like this person is quite quiet. This person could be quite removed, specifically when it comes to communicating emotions. So I do feel like I said, this person has a good vocabulary when it comes to their, the dictionary of words. But I feel at the same time, I don't feel this person is communicating all that much or communicating how they feel. I feel they're observer mode. I don't feel this person knows how to communicate to their emotions or connect to it in a way that they can articulate it back. And I feel like they understand that maybe they've been given this opportunity, or maybe they don't, but an opportunity for them to try again in this lifetime to have a connection. And again, meaning even if they didn't and they gave up on it, that was an attempt for them to try it at one point in time, and they made the decision to either not, or it didn't work out, and so then they made the decision that it wasn't for them, however that went. So I feel like this person is on the verge of opening a door to greatness here for themselves because of this connection. And it could be that this connection's on the other side of this door, and this person just needs to open this door and explore a world that's foreign to them, that they shut the door to at some point in time, either by choice or just subconsciously. They just steered away from it because of an understanding that they had deep in their subconscious that it would hurt again, or hurt them in some way that they couldn't handle, or they just intellectually talked themselves out of it. So they're at the precipice of this threshold, walking through this doorway. And I feel like if it's not working out with you and this person is now opened to this. So if there's another connection, then this person is going to be able to see it more clearly instead of being removed from it or not seeing it. They're more welcoming, but I feel this person's hesitant to open this door still. I feel like this person is seeing in the grayness that they sit in. They're now aware of it, but I feel like because there's been so much suppression, that this person is having a difficult time allowing themselves to just welcome this, because there still is some fear with the moon here and jumping into something that's foreign to them. So this person could be somebody who is older in age here, because especially if this person's already divorced or at an age which they could have had a long-term connection and have not, or have experienced it and it didn't work. But for whatever reason, this person's being pushed to transform here with the butterfly. They're going through a transformation, whether they like it or not. And it's also allowing them to liberate themselves fully, not just in an area where I feel this person already has under control. Because I feel like there's a good sort of steady energy from this person. I feel this person is solid, reliable, steady. I feel like they are someone here who works with their hands. So they could be somebody who provides for themselves very well, or knows how to be self-sufficient. I feel like this person is someone who is self-sufficient. I'm also getting maybe somebody who is good kind of in the wild, maybe, like if they're very... I don't know, like they know how to survive on bare minimum here. I feel like this person is might like wildlife in some way, or not need a whole lot here to sustain themselves. I feel a pretty simple energy, but very deep and very intellectual. Okay, but I don't feel like this person is like triggered is driven by like maybe material things so much as it is more of a focused dedication to the matrix. because it's showing up in a way that's very 3D. Okay. Although I don't feel like this person is trying to, I don't know, like create some identity that's not them, but I do feel like this person's shut out something that is them. So yeah, their health is taking a toll. I don't know, like this person might be somebody who is needing to really review their mental health. It could be somebody who has, cognitive issues here, because when we suppress our emotions for a long time, it could take a toll on us. So this person might be someone who might be, and I'm not diagnosing anyone I don't know, but could be autistic in some level, or have some sort of mental disorder in some way, maybe. Okay, which I think is impacting how they can communicate or show up or do something here. Okay, but I feel like they are somebody who needs to step out of trying to escape. And I feel like the escape here was being used to cover up and cope with the fact that this person was shutting a part of themselves, like they didn't need it, like they didn't need love, or they didn't need connection, or they didn't need to experience emotions because they were different in somehow, in some way. But we are all human. We all have feelings we need to be in touch with, and we cannot fight our emotions, especially ones that are intense. And I feel like this person is one who should experience joy, because we all should experience joy. But I feel like this person is someone worthy of love and having this in their life despite what they thought or felt that they did not. Okay. I do feel like this person might have a good group of people here, like the network of friends, but I feel like this person is somebody who doesn't let just about anyone in their life. So this person might have a solid, group of friends that they've had since childhood, and that's their friend group. Okay, because I don't feel like this person has expanded much past a certain point in their life, is what I'm feeling. So same high school friends, that's maybe their like their family, their brothers, their whatever, their sisters, or whatever, the same group of friends here. Okay. And maybe they rely on that, which is nothing wrong with relying on friends, but friends is only a 3 of cups, which is not deep enough for this person to tap into a 2 of cups, which is connection, and when we have connection, we then have to show up for ourselves in a deep way. So it might have been safe for this person to have more superficial type connections. And when I say superficial, there's nothing superficial I feel about this person, because I do feel like this person is somebody who is honest and upfront and has friendship, but superficial as in with our friends, we can only go so deep and be so intimate, especially if we're, masculine energies. We don't allow ourselves to get much deeper here. Okay. And now this has triggered this person. Is set a fire, and look, more butterflies here. So they are transforming, and I feel like they could see this, and maybe they're not sure why it's happening, and this might make this person feel a little hesitant, like this is happening to them, rather than engaging here and taking and embracing this and involving themselves. They might just be looking at this as something that's happening, and they're not quite sure. And so maybe this is giving this person more fear, and maybe making them indulgent in things here more, because maybe they feel like something's out of their control, or like slipping, because I do feel like there's a transformation happening, whether they like it or not. And maybe this person does not like that, because I do feel someone who is liking control, of their own life, or who is very much focused and dedicated to show up in a way that they know their outcome, or they know where they're progressing. They know where they're dedicating their time and their energy. So anything outside of this is something foreign to this person, which might make them feel out of control. But I feel like this person is being sparked to life again, okay? And maybe for the first time ever, which is very intense. So they might find you very intense, or this connection intense, or their emotions that come up when you're around very intense. So this is what I have. I think this is it. I don't even need tarot. I hope this resonated for you guys. I'm kind of glad that we got a little bit about the connection here in the back end. And yeah, if you're drawn to another pile, it could certainly be multiple piles for you, because energy sits in all over the place. So we can have past, present, future energies, and we can have higher self, lower self. Just take whatever resonates, but I will see you soon. Bye. Hello, my beautiful pile 2. You picked the selenite wand. beautiful. I love selenite. Selenite is a fairly inexpensive crystal. So if you're starting a crystal collection, you might want to get a piece of selenite. And it's very good for cleansing all crystals. Okay, it's very good at absorbing all the energies. So you can leave your selenite out, you know, to charge energetically outside or in your windowsill. And then put it with all your other crystals. But love, love selenites. So I'm going to put this where it's not going to roll away. And what we're doing is we're looking at you versus the person on your mind. Okay, so I ask Spirit for an objective look at you and your person. So it's going to come through as a deep look at you and a deep look at your person. Now, I don't know how much of the connection per se we're going to see, rather than just who you are maybe, or who you are in this connection. I don't know how it comes out, okay? But I just asked for an objective look at you and an objective look at your person, and maybe how it is within the connection that you are showing up. And this could certainly be your high self, low self. I don't know how it's going to show up, okay? So just take kind of what's resonating. And I do intend on the first half being you, second half being your person, but that's interchangeable. So this could be your person, and then the back end could be you. So, you know, it might be hard to tell if this is your pile. If you don't resonate with this being you, it could be your person. So, you know, just do whatever you need to do other than forcing things to fit that don't fit your narrative. Okay, so I've not looked at these at all. I just shuffled, like I said, and asked spirits to be as objective here. And so let's start with your energy. So we have 6th chakra. The energy of 3rd eye chakra supports our inner sight and intuitive abilities. Okay. We have Moon in Aquarius, 23, or the number 5, free spirit. Your inner wild child awakens. Oh, wow. Isn't that amazing? This is crown chakra, 6th chakra, being open to the divine, awakens. Look at, she is opening her arms here to the divine. Free spirit. Okay, I say she, it could definitely doesn't have to be a she, but here we see. Isolation. And in this little tag it says invitation. Tuxedo. Isolation. We have surrender, defensiveness. Defensiveness is a sign of weakness. To communicate in a more empowered way, stay centered and hear someone out, then offer a clear, non-defensive response. We have purpose. I know what I am here to do. Lots of purple. Crown chakra. What is this? This is the 3rd house. So 3rd house, it says, by making the right connections, the idea in question, and get your ideas going. So 3rd house is all about the mind, okay, logical, thinking, communication, siblings, social activity or interests or neighbors, early education. That's what the 3rd house is all about. We have restlessness with 73, or the number 10. 10 is all about endings, to make way for new beginnings. And then we have a clock here, which obviously talks about divine timing, and a bunch of eyes. Eyes are the intuition. Let's see how many eyes we have here. 10 eyes. Okay. Restlessness. I'll put that, you know what, let's do this, because I have lots of cards that are coming through. Okay. We have the lion. Beautiful. And we have Europe. It says Europe is one of Jupiter's 4 biggest moons, grouped together under the name Galilean moon. A little smaller than our moon, Europe is entirely covered with a layer of cracked ice, beneath which lies a vast, salty ocean. It is remarkable for its extremely smooth surface, the smoothest in is giving me Leo energy. Let's keep going. We have Saturn, and Saturn is the ruling planet for Capricorn Aquarius, or the number 8. Sorry, Number 7, not 8. Number 7. Saturn. Okay. And we have cosmic egg. The snake. Where do we put this? I'll see if we're all in frame here because I don't know how much is going to fit here. Okay, we have truth. Truth. And we have the sage with 34, or the number 7. Look at your situation with the mature, experienced viewpoint of a wise person. Examine assumptions about the aging process and mastery. The sage. Okay. Assumptions right beside the truth. Okay, and then I like you. Someone likes you. Romance is blooming, fun, flirting, and want to date. And we have the goddess. Light attribute, the feminine expressed through wisdoms, nature, life force, and sensuality. And then we have the shadow attribute, which says exploitation of the female nature and form. Radio. We have the pathless, difficult decisions and lack of direction. With all these hands coming out, I do want to see how many hands we have here. 13. 13 is the death card in the tarot, which is all about transformation and having to part with the old. Scorpio energy. We have an eye here, which is giving me that intuition again. Perfect. Energy. Could be your person, but it comes through here. Lack of direction. Sorry, guys. So this is interesting, this energy here. I feel like your energy coming through here is probably somebody who has been pretty self-sufficient, I feel. I feel like maybe you were on a path, I do feel. But the path that you were on, I feel wasn't guiding you to where you were kind of supposed to go. But I don't think you realized it. I don't think you were wandering around sort of aimlessly. I do feel as though it was an aimless sort of direction that you were going because of the fact that I feel spirits knew exactly where you were supposed to be going. And I say supposed to be because I feel like we come to this world and we're born into this life in order to experience certain lessons and go through certain experiences and make certain decisions in our life that opens the door to growth spiritually as a person. So, you know, I feel like by meeting this person or being in this connection in some way, I feel like it's caused within you something that's clearing up certain blocks I feel that you've had energetically within you, karmically maybe within you in some way here, that wasn't allowing you to reach a full potential. Okay, because I feel like what I'm picking up here in this energy is somebody who is either highly psychic, Okay, and maybe you're clairvoyant or clairaudient or have some very strong psychic abilities, or just very, very in tune with spirit. So you might read tarot cards, or you might, like I said, be a psychic here, because I feel like you're getting a lot of downloads here. And this could have started once you started connecting with this person. So I feel like parts of you that's been dormant, or that you might have not have opened up to, is now kind of triggered open in some way. And so I feel like there's parts of your life here that maybe you had assumed to have an understanding, and I feel like it was very mind-based. I feel like you're a logical person here with a good understanding. I feel like you're somebody who might have had your ish together. And so I feel like maybe meeting this person has kind of flipped your world in some way to understand that sometimes things happen here that aren't logical based, such as when we start experiencing the spirits, synchronicities, unexplainable events, the esoteric. How do we explain it back? And we can't ignore it, especially if it's happening to us. And so I feel like you are like this goddess here, somebody who could reach a full potential to connect to a great gift here, okay? And once you connect to this, which I feel you're doing in this connection by being connected to this person in some way, that you seek out what you were put here on earth to do, to find a great purpose within self. So I feel like there has been a lot of challenge, because I feel like potentially there's a recognition of things that you once truly believed to be very true, might have been things that you now question, or where you no longer believe in these things. And it might be that you might have dedicated yourself to, I don't know, like, let's say, this is just an example, okay? Let's say if you dedicated yourself to being an atheist, and that's how you kind of lived your life for a long period of time. And now all of a sudden you meet somebody who is not, who might be religious or maybe spiritual or whatever this person is. And you started experiencing something here that you couldn't have experienced previous to this person. And so then there was a need to come to terms and a recognition here that your understanding of being an atheist no longer suited your experience. It no longer reflected an understanding, because you're experiencing something very different, which put you on a path, I feel here, of maybe spirituality, maybe becoming more religious, maybe putting an end to certain things that you might have dedicated yourself to. So you could have put your whole life in towards something here. I feel a very focused, dedicated person. I don't feel like you've been, squandering your energy. So maybe, getting to the bottom of the truth was important to you. But I feel like there's an understanding here that there is our perception of truth and a logical truth. And then there is things we don't understand that could be a universal truth that us as humans might never understand to see. And so being open to that changes our worldview here. So I feel like you're experiencing something like this, okay? And having to still understand where the passion lies to go after what you want. Because I feel like some of you guys might have stopped along the way here. Yeah, I'm feeling an energy here of stopped along the way in your life that didn't allow you to push yourself to the greatest potential of who you could be. And so in a way, it was a little aimless, although I don't feel like you felt aimless or directionless, because I felt like you were involved in things you needed to experience. But I feel like it might have been things that were keeping you stuck in some way, or not allowing you to kick it up to the next level or level up. So it could be that we were very focused on something that was a little superficial because it made sense logically, how we appeared potentially in this matrix world, how we showed up was a big thing. So we might have thought, you know, I am this is again an example, I am a lawyer, and that's what matters, you know, and upkeeping my identity as this lawyer and what I do day in, day out is important to me. And anything that challenges that viewpoint or that thing isn't true, or I have to disprove it, or I have to do what it is that I do, rather than seeing a different perspective here, that you are not the lawyer. Okay, you might have acted in a way that was the lawyer, but that it does not make you who you are. So very similar to kind of a pile one energy. So I feel like now that there's an opening of the mind outside of just logical thought, there's an understanding that there might be a greater truth out there for you to be something here that now fires you up to give you purpose, to allow you to be courageous to go after what it is that you're needing to go after, that you're no longer triggered by maybe other people or a set of circumstances that might make you appear in a certain way, or that you have to upkeep some sort of image in some way. So there's a freedom here. There's a liberation of some sort of construct that we were living in some way. So I feel like you're being reborn here, okay? Reborn here. So this connection has allowed you to feel liberated, and maybe at one point I do feel you were closed. I feel like you were maybe protective of a true core here of who you could be. So you might have been very uptight or just defensive or guarded, or not allowing yourself to move from a certain point here, because maybe there was a fear, or just a block more than a fear, I feel here with this block. And the block was maybe something we didn't recognize that we had up in order to protect us from, like when we have blocks, when we uncover the true reason for the block, it usually leads to a fear. Okay, and the fear could have been, what happens when I reach this potential and if I don't succeed? So it's better to be safe, or it's better to go under one understanding here, you know. But I feel like you dedicated your whole life to something here, or at least a big part of your belief or your structure or your system was around this thing. And so this person's kind of made you open up to a whole understanding of something different, which could be very scary when our whole world is flipped upside down, especially our beliefs that we've dedicated a lot of our time to. Because once we see that, there's no unseeing it. And, you know, we could have been very defensive about this, protective about this, and not wanting to embrace the new version of what we see here based on what we now understand. So we might have pushed away this connection. We might have isolated ourselves and gone through some sort of self-discovery. We might have really went inwards to look at ourselves and say, how am I not embracing some sort of truth here, or welcoming this leveling up that I'm supposed to be doing? Because I feel like you are a goddess energy. You create the purpose in your life here, but there's a need to take action in allowing yourself to be receptive to it, and then to be open to walking in that, and expressing and engaging and experiencing that which you might have spent your whole life denying or ignoring or just not seeing. So I think this person's triggered your ability to maybe contact the divine, or be more connected to the divine. And the divine is, as we know, it's within us. You know, we can connect to source through us, because we are source living in a human body. So it's a very magical feeling when we feel like source, like we are whole and complete. And it could be very scary when we start to see things intuitively here, like numbers. I feel like you might have been exposed to maybe very vivid dreams, vivid numbers, signs, synchronicities, seeing certain things that were unexplainable here. because of this connection in some way, like Spirit's been trying to awaken you to acknowledge something outside of logic, the esoteric life here that you could no longer pass off as something that is no longer existing in some way, or imaginary in some way, or whatever. Okay, and I'm not saying all of you guys were from that, but I do feel like maybe there was a more heavy focus on things you could kind of see in front of you. So I feel like through time, through conditioning, you've developed a sort of an outer shell of yourself, which I feel is really based on, you know, how others would perceive you. I feel here, covered with a layer of cracked ice, and beneath that lies a vast salty ocean. I feel like underneath the conditioning, underneath the beliefs, underneath the years of whatever you did, there is a new self that's more connected to spirit, that is in tune with abilities, and that seeks now purpose, that now has a sense of direction, and knowing that you are the creator here. And maybe it took a while to align that, you know, because seeing that might have thrown you into a tailspin or a wobble, and then having to get back on our feet and to take action after that, it might take some courage, especially if the people around us understood us to be one way, and then we suddenly do a 180 here and speak a different language than we have. It's scary sometimes. Or if we were a lawyer, like I said, all our life, and then all of a sudden we say we want to go, you know, live in the bush, and people don't understand that. And I don't know necessarily if it's all so much about the people, but I feel like there is some sort of identity here that might be opposite of what's happening here to you. And so I feel like it's been a journey of liking yourself, understanding who you are. And so maybe deep down, you know, there was a need to like yourself, and you didn't realize that you didn't appreciate who you were underneath the lawyer, or underneath the atheist, or underneath the, and those again examples, I'm not saying you're that, okay, so don't take that literal, but underneath the thing that we created, there was a greater truth. And we could create these things because we're not connected to understanding our beauty, and recognizing to tap into a love of ourselves, to actually like who we are as a person. So you might have not have liked who you were showing up as, and it could have created some sort of defensiveness in your life. Maybe you pushed a lot of people away. Maybe bonding with people was difficult. Connecting to another person authentically was hard, because when we don't like ourselves, or when we don't see ourselves, we're awkward. We can't connect. So we might have had to put an end to some belief here. A belief of something that made us maybe think we were deserving of one idea, and it just created a wall of defensiveness and didn't allow us to experience connection. So this is what I have for pile 1. Pile 2. Let's look at your person. Okay, so I don't know how much of your person was coming through here, other than what it's triggered in you with this connection. But let's see with pile 2. Oh my goodness. Your person, pile 2, what comes through here. Okay, and what happened in 1 was we did see a little bit about the connection here, so it might come through. Or it might just be, again, this person all around. All right, so we have 34 with romantic love, or the number 7. The frequency of romantic love supports our experience to know ourselves through the reflection of a conscious lover. Wowzers. We have eclipse in Capricorn. 34, new direction. Look at that, you guys. 34, 34. What are the chances of that? I don't pick these, okay? There's lots of numbers that could come out. It says reevaluate success. Eclipse in Capricorn, new direction. 34, 34. Or the number 7, 7. We have completion, sacral chakra, completion. We have surrender to passion, get out of your head and feel the fire in your belly. Focus on the people or activities that ignite your passion and let it flow. We have Judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. We have the 12th house. Oh my goodness. This is endings, closure, because we have completion here as well. Okay, this is spirituality, solitude. This is karma, old age, the afterlife. This is subconscious beliefs, limiting beliefs, what's kind of hidden in the surface. So it says seeking oneness with all there is, philanthropy, and keep your involvement hidden. Okay. This is the sign of Gemini. What you want to be known, what is believed about, and use the quickest way. And I know those kind of don't make a whole lot of sense here, but Gemini is the logical thought coming through. Gemini. Okay. We have 44, or the number 8. Your dreams are closer than you think. Ace of Cups overflowing here. We have a couple clouds and then this hand reaching out. And we have 61 or 7 with dependency. A bunch of apple cores. 6 apple cores and then a full apple here. A chain and a handcuff and another arm with all these teardrops. Okay, we have dependency. I hope you can see this. I'll adjust in a bit. Okay. We have Fox. And we have Rooster. Okay. We have Ceres or Ceres. I don't know how to say this. It says the smallest dwarf planet in the solar system at over 900 kilometers in diameter. Ceres or Ceres is also the biggest asteroid body revolving around the sun and measuring between a few meters and hundreds of kilometers. It is part of the main asteroid belt located between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. Ceres is composed of a rocky core covered with a layer of ice and crust. Okay, discovery in 1801. Smallest dwarf planet in the solar system at over, okay, the biggest asteroid. Okay. We have the Crow, air energy coming out again, Gemini. Libra, Aquarius. Crows fly between worlds, communication. We have calcification here, 64, or the number 10. That's also completion, 10. Okay, calcification, more birds here, and we have a little flame. We have romance. Oh my gosh, did I just say romance? This is nothing to do with romance. Romantic love, interesting, power. The snakes, and then the lightning bolts, power, which I was seeing as romance for some reason. Let's put that there. We have the mask, 37, or the number 10 again. Neither you nor anyone else involved in your situation has the clear picture of what has happened, what is happening, and what will happen. Wow, the mask. Okay. I have a lot of cards. I'm not quite sure where they're going to sit, but I'll have to jimmy them around a little bit here. So I have 18 with the initiate, or the number 9. It says the initiates. Acknowledge what you do not know and learn with a beginner's mind so you can become accepted as an authority one day. Okay. And we have twin flames coming out. This could be confirmation for some of you guys on the twin flame journey here with this person. Yin yang, balance, union, duality, coupling, complement each other. I will move this. Is this yours? Yes, I'll move it over here. Okay. And we have the hero, heroine, light attribute, passion for a journey of personal empowerment, and shadow attribute, escapism and false sense of heroism. We have the king, control, reversal of fortune. And it looks like the ace of swords here, because we have one sword, which is always about truth, and it's disintegrating here and pointing down. And sometimes what I get with the Sword of Truth pointing down is maybe not seeing clearly or being honest with something, okay? So the King, it could definitely be divine masculine energy coming through here with the rooster as well, divine masculine. And we have 54, or the number 9, the vow. The vow. And we have twin flame facilitator 4/4 expansive growth. Wow, this is quite the energy. Definitely if you're wanting confirmation here regarding whether this person is your twin flame, I certainly feel as though this person is your twin flame, because this person has been triggered to their twin flame journey, which only their true twin could do. Okay, let me check the screen. Alrighty. That is some perfect Virgo maneuvering. Okay. Give me a little bit here, because this is a lot of stuff going on here, okay? But it is kind of clear to me. Okay. I don't know if I said codependency, but this is dependency. Wow. Okay. What's going on with this person? So it's interesting because this is kind of one came out the same sort of way, where we got more about the connection kind of in the back half with the other person as well as the other person. And this is kind of how this is kind of coming out as well. So I'll start with the person. I do feel this person could definitely be your twin flame, okay? Only for those obviously resonating. And all this means is this person has been triggered probably into the biggest journey of their life. I feel a very heavy ego coming from this person here, and I don't feel it's been easy with this person here, because I feel like this person is somebody who could have been very much in their ego, so much to the point that they were living a cover-up, a facade of who they really were. And so I feel like this person could have been somebody who was quite arrogant, you know. This could have been somebody who was quite, and if this is your energy, then, I mean, I apologize, but this is how it's coming through, and sometimes it is very much exaggerated in order for me to see the energy, but you pick up where on the scale it kind of sits, okay, because I'm sure it's a little more nuanced than what I'm seeing here, but I'm going to read it as it comes out. But I say someone cocky, and it could be somebody who, you know, was arrogant and because of a cover-up. I mean, when we live in ego, it's because we've created some sort of identity of self that we rely on that allows us to protect the inner self. And I feel as though underneath all of this, we're all connected back to source and spirit, and we all want what's best. But I don't know that this person was doing what was best here for themselves, or certainly not for this connection. So I feel like this person could have been somebody who, you know, was more concerned with themselves, could have been somebody who made up fibs or just lived a lie of a life, okay? So they could have lied to you specifically, or they could have just lived a big lie, identifying with something here, like a big tough person in some way. And, you know, underneath that, there was a need to acknowledge who they truly are and grow as an individual and see that maybe, you know, judging others or judging circumstances or whatever was going on in the material world had nothing to do with how other people are on the inside and who they are on the inside. And so I feel like this person might have felt like at some point that they were appearing as though they were in control of their own life, but really because of the cover-up and living in that they were not so in control of who they truly needed to be, because there was a person underneath this that was really who they are, that was calling out to them. So this connection has brought this person some sort of awareness here and having to put an end to a self that was harming them. And I feel like what Spirit is doing here is bringing them closer to who they are so that they can come into union with you. Okay, this is what I see here. For them to show up for themselves so that they could make a commitment here to this connection, because I do feel there is love here that this person could have denied or suppressed or ignored or sabotaged and did the complete opposite. And so I feel like either this connection has been over for some time because of this person's actions, or that this person's life could have got very challenging, so much so that they were having to sludge through a lot of stuck energy because universe was shutting things down in front of this person so that they could acknowledge parts of themselves that no longer help this person in their journey of growth. And so I feel like this person has had to, or is about to, or has experienced some sort of dark night of the soul, separation from ego. And maybe they haven't fully let go of ego, but they're having to let parts of this fall away. And I feel like, I do feel for a lot of you guys, this person has had to mourn this connection with you, because I feel like either you abandoned this person because maybe you tried and this person you could not get past this ego. And so I feel like this person is being called, by spirits and by a passion to reignite something here with you. But in order to do this, there has to be an acknowledgement of self, an acknowledgement of where they've been lying to self, wearing a mask, where they can actually have the power is not in who they pretend to be, but the power really comes from being our authentic self and not living a lie. Because when we are in authenticity, when we embrace all of the parts of us that we don't like, we take away the power from the fear. We take away anyone else's judgment because we're already open and vulnerable with that. So we don't fear anything anymore. We're kind of open and exposed. And I feel like this person might have had a big, big, big challenge in opening themselves and understanding what it means to have self-love. So much so that we're able to give to another, because I feel there is a very heavy lack type mindset here, that this person had a hard time giving to themselves. So I feel like this person might have had a very hard time giving to you in this connection. So there might have been a lot of confusion here with this person internally, battling, and the battle really was about, how do I love myself enough so that I can express myself and give? But I need to take action. I need to show myself love. I need to be honest. I need to clear where there's confusion here. And so I feel like this person might have been very much dependent on superficial things, and could have been burn and turn. So maybe there was a lot of relationships this person went through, or things they were using as dependencies. This connection could have been something they were dependent on, because I feel like this person was stuck, okay? And I feel like this person, in order to not be stuck, they had to go out of their way to do something here so that they could acknowledge parts of them that is not really them, is like a facade. Mars and Jupiter. Okay, so I think this person is someone who, is quite assertive, maybe, fiery. Maybe they did a lot. There was a lot of challenge between you and this person. They might have fought the wrong types of battles, maybe. And there's something kind of large and in charge about this person. And I feel like this person might have had to think that they had to fight in order to be blessed, or had to do things in a way here that would step over other people in order to be blessed in some way. So they're learning a lesson of being humble, learning a lesson of, in order to be a leader, we sometimes have to allow other people to lead, and we have to come to terms with who we are inside here so that we can, just be humble enough to work with other people here so our life can come together, so we can enjoy our blessings. So I think this person's making big, big growth, because I do feel this person was really in lower parts of their own chakra, okay? Reactionary, based with very superficial type things, non-authenticity, ignoring signs from the universe, needing control, liking to be in control, liking to exert their dominance. Okay, so I feel like, the truth of who they are is shattering here, that there's a greater truth. And sometimes it's painful when we lose the truth of who we thought we are, because we're left with not knowing then who we are. And that becomes scary, because who we are is always there, but we don't see it. We're too busy suffering from the loss of what we think was us. So there's mourning of that identity. The ego self wants to stay alive. The ego self fights to stay alive. And then it's very, very painful. And the bigger the ego, the more the pain, the harder it falls. So this person's having to make a commitment, okay? Having to come into some sort of balance within self so that they're able to show up here. And I feel like this person has a lot of fire here for you. And I feel like in order for this person to align themselves, they had to turn and make a new direction here for themselves, because where they were headed was not going to be a place that brought them joy, fulfillment. So there is a big emphasis on the end of a life phase here with the 12th house, with the endings and closure, having to heal, expansive growth, completion. They're putting an end to something here. But I feel like it has been very challenging. This person has been quite stubborn, I feel here, okay? And I feel it's been very painful. And so I feel like this person, you know, if they have not yet been able to express themselves, I feel like this person is now in this mode of maybe crying a lot, you know, but I feel like it's shedding emotions here that maybe they suppressed. And sometimes when we suppress emotions so much so, it turns into anger, it turns into aggressive behaviors. And so I feel like all of these aggressive behaviors here has turned this person into having to deal with a truth within them. And I heard somewhere, and I'm not sure where, but it's like the ego story that we have, there's always one big part of our ego. There could be multiple, because we don't just have one ego, we have egos. But the biggest challenge we have in our life with the ego, we then, when we recognize and shine the light on that and make peace, we then turn into the opposite. So if this person was very arrogant and cocky, this person becomes a very humble and giving type person, okay? Like one of the most giving, one of the most humble type of people. If this person is someone who, you know, was very much caring about how they appeared or living some sort of illusion, they then become somebody who is very authentic and genuine, who then understands how to be authentic and genuine and help other people in that. So I feel like there is something special here about this person that's been very buried away, okay? And they have to kind of be the hero in their own story, but not only for them, but I feel like especially for the twin flames coming through here quite strong, it's so they can also be in that energy for this connection, to be the hero in some way in this story, or the heroine in this story, because they feel like they failed you. They feel like they failed themselves as a result of what's happened between you and this person, and their inability to show up, and things to get very, very stuck in their own life, but also I feel in this connection. So I feel like there has been a reignition here of a spark with passion and this little flame to ignite where it is stuck within them, so that they can have expansive growth and within this connection. So if they haven't communicated to you, I'm feeling strong communication coming through from this person, what they desire, how they've changed. But I feel like right now is a very heavy, emotionally charged person dealing with an ending, having to come to terms with this. So this might take a bit. And maybe you already know this, but I feel like this person is having to identify what's the best course of action now, because I think it's hitting them like a blast. Now that whatever illusion's been shattered, they're having to come to terms with mourning who they were, so that they can now identify where the power lies and which sort of power they want to, or path they want to go down here. Because I think it's hitting them all at once. They could do a million things here. Once we shed all our old self, we identify that we're this whole being that has all of these options, all of this potential, and it's very overwhelming. And so I feel like not only is it one ego, I feel like there's multiple egos here that this person had with all of these snakes. having to shed. And sometimes we go through dark night of the soul repetitively because there's so many parts of ourself that need to go away. The part of us that lies, the part of us that's attached to image, the part of us that, is maybe bossy, the part of us that hurts other people to lash out because we don't know how to express. Parts of us that think we can't because we're connected or dependent on someone else or something else that keeps us stuck. I could go on forever because that's what I do here, but I feel I've done this justice. This is what I see, and I feel a lot of pain here from this person, but I don't doubt that you've gone through a lot of pain as well, because I feel like this person wasn't able to show up for themselves. So there was no way that this person was able to show up for you, especially in a way that you deserve. And so this person might have been very hurtful to you and might have reflected back to you a lot of pain. Okay, which in your pile, what I was picking up, I didn't sense so much pain here, but I feel like you had a story and a journey that you were kind of going through as well. And maybe you believed something about yourself, that this person made you see, despite all of the pain they've caused you. Maybe there is a truth that this person understood about you that you had to completely flip on. But like I said, turned your world upside down. Maybe you thought you were very, very spiritual in some way, but maybe you realized you were an ego by witnessing this person being an ego. Okay, whether they did it actively or not actively, or consciously or not consciously, I feel the trigger in you was maybe you had a vision of thinking you were a free soul or a free spirit, or that you had some sort of purpose, or that you understood something under wraps, and really maybe you just identified like, yeah, maybe you were an ego, or maybe whatever belief story you had was untrue, because I do feel both of you guys are on this journey. Okay, and I do feel like there's a bigger calling here to come together to a greater truth, to find a balanced union between two souls that had to find their way there. I feel it is a romantic, passionate love, okay? And when we experience twin flame journey, it is the type of love that is very unconditional. It transcends any sort of ego. Okay, so this could be the true sort of story from suffering to a hero story, a beautiful thing here that we couldn't even imagine. All right, and I don't give false hopes here, but this is kind of how this is coming out. So, my lovelies, this does not have to be born male, but I do feel divine masculine energy, okay? But we both carry masculine feminine energies. This could just be somebody who was more in their masculine energy. Another thing coming through is this person could be somebody who said a lot, talked a lot, made a lot of promises, but it didn't follow through. And I do feel there might have been lies, but like I said, could be just lying to ourselves, believing we're something. But I feel like there was a lot of talk, and this person could have been very intellectual, and they might have been cunning and said something to you that, I don't know, just triggered you in some way. And it could have been a lot of talk and not a lot of action. So that's what I see. Pile number 2. I hope this helped, and I will see you soon. Bye. Hello, my beautiful pile 3. You picked the lapis lazuli that I called lepidolite for whatever reason. Heavy tower, beautiful. Like I said, all the beautiful gold striations in this beautiful thing. Yeah, so something that's coming through here. When I bought this, there was some person at the rock and gem show that was telling me that all the lapis lazuli could be fake, and he was pretty convinced. So he kept saying, that's probably fake, that's probably fake, there's no way that's real. And I was like, I don't know what that means. And then I call this lepidolite, which is not what it is, which is also fake. So I don't know, something coming through. Maybe we thought something was something that's not, or maybe we had to learn a story about authenticity. Maybe we had to see something for what it was, or maybe we're pretending to be something we're not. I don't know. Let's see what's coming through. So what I'm doing here for you guys, beautiful pile 3, is I'm looking at you versus your person. Okay, the person you came here about. And what I asked Spirit, I kept it very open. It was, tell me about the pile 3, who they are, what's going on with pile 3. And then let's take an objective look at them and an objective look at their person. So this could be you as a person as a whole, or how you are in the connection. I don't know how much connection comes through, because I feel with the other 2 piles, the connection only came through in the back end. Okay, but we are looking at you versus your person. So it could be just how you are in general, you know, and what's going on as a result of the connection. So this could be higher self, lower self, right? If that's how you resonate, and maybe there is no other person here, that's fine. Or it could be that it starts off as your person and then you. So you can crisscross them, interchangeable, although I do intend on the first pile being you, and then we'll look at your person. Okay, so only take the messages that resonate for you, because this is general reading. Do not force anything to fit or change anything that needs to be changed, because it's going to be the general gist of what the energy is that's going to be resonating, so that you know whether this is your pile or not. Okay, so let's get into your energy, or your person's, depending how you resonate. Okay, so we have 4-4 with union. The energy of union activates our ability to unite our outer and inner aspects towards a state of wholeness. Beautiful. Number 8, union. Most powerful energetic card we could possibly pull here. We have bring peace to our life. Sorry, bring peace to your life, and your relationships will flourish. Moon in Libra with love. Number 19 or the number 10. 10 is all about completions, so we can make new beginnings. Love, strong. We have wisdom. Green ray chakra, which is all about heart chakra, love. Unconditional love. We have the world here. World is also about completion. Okay, the world could be travel, and also could mean internet here, whatever kind of resonates for you. And then we have a dove, all about peace. And then we have these little, I don't know, round bushes. 2 round bushes. Trees. They're not bushes, they're trees. They look like little round bushes, but they're big, poofy trees. Okay, wisdom. We have surrender to what is. Flow with what is instead of fighting it. When you can't change a situation, compassionately accepting it exactly as it is will bring you peace. Peace we were seeing with the dove. I am feeling lots of dove energy coming from her white dress. Purity, adversity. Oh my goodness, look at you guys. Look at this thing. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. Okay. With the planet of Venus, we have cherish, joy, charm, art, and beauty are the way to. Venus is the ruling planet for Libra and also Taurus. So beautiful Venus energy. You might be a very beautiful person. Gorgeous energy I'm feeling here. Inside and out. Okay, because wisdom very much is beautiful in its own right. So we have smother with 30. And then we have this snake coiled up around this mouse. Number 3 or 30. 3 is all about mind, body, and spirit coming into balance. It's also angels with us. 3 is about collaboration, coming together to build something that we couldn't on our own with another, with a second entity. So smother. We have jellyfish. Okay. We have Phobos. And it says, Phobos is the biggest of the planet Mars's 2 moons. The second being Deimos. Deimos. Okay. An impact is thought to have caused the formation of these 2 natural satellites. Phobos is very irregular shaped and is only 27 kilometers long by 21 kilometers wide. So that's 16.7 miles by 13 miles, for those of you guys who do miles instead of kilometers. So it says its low mass suggests that it may be partially hollow. Its small size would explain why. Unlike the moon, Phobos has not developed a round shape over time. Okay. We have gold, 26, or the number 8, gold. Wow, I am feeling such an energy coming from this pile. I love it. We have dolphin. Oh my goodness. I feel like crying already. I haven't even got into it. Okay, dolphin. Spirit, this is compassion. Okay, dolphin. Water energy. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Beautiful. I'm feeling heavy divine feminine energy. Now, you don't have to be born a female, like I always say, because we have masculine, feminine energies, but I do feel divine feminine. Okay, so we have fear, which says Lear, because they don't know handwriting in this deck, but that's okay. We have a bunch of eyes here. I think a bunch of eyes came out for pile 2. One of the decks, one of the piles came out with a bunch of eyes as well. Eyes are always about seeing a truth here with their third eye, being intuitive. So we have 10 eyes and 1 mouth here. Fear. And then we have the Maya, number 11. 11, very magical number. That's an ascended master's number with the 11. And we have a lizard, looks like a gecko maybe. Maya, and it says, allow past mistakes to help you see through all illusions so you can understand and act upon what you know is real and what is false. Wow, powerful. Here we have the hammer, sabotage, rebuilding, interrogation, repetitive, persistent, and working on it. Scribe, light attribute, preserving knowledge and information. Shadow attribute, altering facts or plagiarizing others' work. And we have the poet and the scribe. Look at that. Amazing. Relationships and vulnerability. A feather plume. And it looks like it's a pen here, one of those ink pens. And then tulips. Certainly look like tulips. Okay, and then we have the stone, 67. What is that? 13. 13 is the death card in the tarot, all about transition. Stone is a very fixed energy. Sometimes it's returning back to something fixed, dense energy. Okay. And Scorpio energy coming through here. And lots of water I'm picking up from your Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Creative energy. We have the High Priestess, Pisces energy. Sorry, High Priest, which is Hierophant energy. That's interesting. Hierophant is Taurus. Okay, which was coming through with the... why did I point there? Sorry, Venus. Because Venus rules Taurus. So personal empowerment. Okay, now I'm going to just put these where we can see a little bit better. What should I do here? Should I do that? No, I'm sorry guys. Just give me just a little bit so I can... Okay, let me see. Okay, looks good to me. Just give me a little bit to tap into this magnificent energy that I'm feeling here. Wow. So I'm going to start with yours. This is you, okay? Or your person, however you're resonating, but I will call it you. What has this connection done? Oh my goodness, what a big, huge impact I feel here. I feel like you've gone through pretty much everything you could possibly go through, or at least this is how you're probably feeling. Okay, and a very strong energy I'm feeling from you. So what this lesson is, I feel here, and as we know, you know, the universe isn't here to only give us lessons to suffer, but there is a reason why we're supposed to experience certain people and things in our life so that we can grow and ascend, so that we're always becoming the better version of ourselves. Okay, whether you believe in reincarnation or not, our energy continuously keeps growing and ascending, and if we're wanting to become best version of ourselves, we learn from lessons. And when we're reborn here, we sometimes, you know, forget parts of ourselves, but we return to ourselves, but we don't lose all the spirituality that we've gained in past lives. And so that's why we have some young souls and old souls, because old souls have gone through challenges. And I feel like this is a very old soul that's come to some sort of point in their life here, which is quite fabulous. Because this energy that I picked up is somebody who is really understanding themselves in a very profound way, outwardly and inwardly. And it's not only about spirituality and who they are energetically, but also how they can appear in this world. Because sometimes when we find spirituality, when we give up the matrix world, we could just say, I just want to go live in a cabin somewhere and forget all about humanity, because we now see energy as greater purpose, and sometimes we don't even fear death. But this person here, your energy, I feel, is somebody who recognizes that you've come here on earth to be of an energy that also provides some level of service here on earth, but at the same time hanging on to a spirituality of self, which I think is absolutely beautiful. So I feel like all of your past experiences, all of what's happened in this connection specifically has triggered you into a coming together of self, really being solid in your energy here. Okay, and I feel like it's been very scary at times here, because I think you were seeing a bigger truth of something that was bigger than humanity at some point in time, which is very scary to see. And if we just get triggered into seeing these things, it could spook us. So I feel like potentially this person has gone through some sort of Kundalini awakening, or has been tapped into a greater vision of seeing something here that they can no longer deny in some way, but it is very fearful, because when we see a truth, then it's like we have to start to align ourselves with truth. So there's a little bit coming through of matrix, and a bit coming through of this person sort of doing the inner work. But I feel like the inner work now with this person has been, it is always something ongoing, as we all know. When we do inner shadow work and become the best version of us, it goes on consistently. But I feel like now this person is outwardly focused on how to engage in the world as the ascended person that they are. Okay, so I feel like maybe this person has had, I keep saying this person, although I'm supposed to read it as you, but whatever, that's how it's coming out. It has had to really put a lot of effort into themselves, is really probably to repeat certain mistakes. And so I feel like you've been the type of person maybe that feels like you might have smothered your person in some way, or needed some sort of, I don't know, like maybe there was a codependency, or trying to attach yourself to something here. It could be, like I said, this connection or a part of your life here that I feel at some point might have been your comfort blanket in some way, or provided you some level of comfort. But also at the same time, I feel like there was a need to acknowledge why we were doing what we were doing in some way, that we can't hang on to and attain another person or a situation or something and keep them in our sort of world, that everything kind of comes and goes as it should. And it's painful, right? Because sometimes we want things to last, but we need to learn to let go and let be however it is. And it's painful because, sometimes people are in our life for short periods of time, and sometimes people are in our life many lifetimes, and we can't hold people down, right? So maybe what you felt like trying to hold this other person down became impossible, or became a problem, or maybe trying to attain this person in some way, or an outcome of what would happen with this person in some way, proposed a challenge, which might have triggered you into a greater understanding of self, and was a lesson in self, a lesson in why are we hanging on, a lesson in what our beliefs are, a lesson in all of these things of who we are and what we're supposed to do and how we engage in connection and what we can contribute to the world and how we can come into some sort of greater understanding and purpose aside from connection. Like all of this stuff coming through. I feel this person is very creative. Okay, so you're a writer, maybe you're a painter, maybe you express yourself in a very unique way. I see 2 feather plumes here writing. So maybe you've kept a journal since this person. Maybe you're really in tune with taking a look at your subconscious, so much so that it's now you're able to express and show with the world a lesson here through this wisdom. I feel there's a peace here, so I feel you've made peace with yourself and maybe a part of yourself that you weren't so proud of at a time of fear, when maybe we were fear of getting abandoned, or fear that there was lack of missing out on something here that we know is always for us. And I feel like you're a very beautiful person physically. So how you'll know is your pile, and maybe you're modest here, but I do feel, and I'm getting peacock energy from this, I feel like peacock is so beautiful, and normally when I say peacock, I get ego, pride, but I don't feel like this is something you have so much. that's getting in the way. I feel like it's now, very natural. I mean, the peacock is just so natural. It opens its tail and it draws a lot of attention. I feel like you draw a lot of attention in your beauty. You draw a lot of attention in being who you are. Your When people look at you, it's like in awe because of who you are inside and out. And I feel on the outside there is a very beautiful energy with the Venus here. Okay, so you're probably very pretty, handsome, gorgeous, breathtaking, and you capture energy that way, the attention of people. And then also when people get to know you, there's a wisdom and there's a peacefulness and a balance here with the union. So when people are balanced, when they are peaceful, you sense that in other people, or you get triggered into your own sort of need to do the same when you're around other people. So I don't know how you rub up against other people here. We'll see how your person was triggered, or if your person was triggered by you. But I feel like maybe there was a very fixed way about you, okay, that you've had to really work on. And maybe it's been very repetitive for you, that you kept having to do the same motions here. And it could be cycles with this person. It could be lessons in life that were very repetitive, that were holding you, that you felt very fixed, that was drowning you, that you felt like you couldn't break free from, and so I feel like this connection maybe inspired you a lot. Maybe your creativity came out as a writer, as a musician, whatever it is that you were creating here, because this could be lyrics, this could be anything here, as a speaker. So I feel like there's a great solid energy here, but I also feel with this jellyfish that, because jellyfish is like, it lacks a spine here, and so it's kind of like thrown about. But I feel like this is almost like, because you're so free, because you've identified here that it is what it is, that you can be like this jellyfish, and not someone that's just aimless and being led by everything, but you can allow life to unfold as it does and learn from those lessons and integrate that into who you are. That you're not needing to force an outcome, that you're not needing to hang on to someone or something, or an outcome idea of what it should be, that Spirit knows what's best, what it should be, and that you can go with the flow and receive it rather than resist and try to change it because it brought you suffering in some way or brought something you did not like. So I feel like you are in the best version of yourself right now with this gold, okay? And I mean, the journey never ends and we always get better, but I feel like you're at the point where you're not looking at getting, I don't know, better and better and better. I mean, you're open to it, but I don't feel like you're actively now doing all of this crazy self-work here. At some point, maybe you want it to be better, do better, but I feel like you're at peace now, saying I am the best version of me because I always have been. Gold, the ultimate you. Okay, this is reaching enlightenment. And like I say, we never fully reach enlightenment. We're on the enlightenment journey, because anyone who says they've reached full enlightenment is probably not enlightened, because we know we're always learning. But I feel like you've reached your sort of full self, a true version of self that is absolutely beautiful here with this gold, that is breathtaking to other people, because not a lot of people reach this potential within themselves. And so I feel with Mars here, this is, being assertive in a way that allows you to speak a truth that others listen without being aggressive. And it is also speaking a truth here openly without suppressing. And the fact that we had here partly hollow, I feel like maybe you lacked substance at some point in time here, and you recognized, there was a substance that was, and I say lacked, we never lack substance, it's always there. But when we don't feel it or see it in our day-to-day life, we're not sure, but so I feel like this connection has tapped us into seeing our own substance, that we're not hollow, that there's such a greatness within us, that we might have been very fixed on some version of us that was external, and we might have been very fixated on outward appearance or how we appeared, that we neglected the inside of us, that we hung on to the external as being what we identified with. Maybe our career, right? Whatever we were outputting into the world was what made us who we were. And then we realized that there was so much more within us. And it opened up a whole new world. So I do feel here with allow past mistakes to help you see through all illusions so you can understand and act upon what you know is real and what is false. I feel like you understand what's real and false now, you know, what matters and what doesn't. What is matrix and what's not. What is superficial and what is important here, you know, and looks can only go so far. And hanging on to things can only go so far. But when we truly learn to accept and release and see things for a deeper version here and let go of the illusion, then we start to really level up in our lives. So I feel like maybe at one point we were a little superficial here with the hollow and the needing to see through illusion and all of the superficiality. Okay. But I mean, this is lessons learned. So I feel like right beside this is compassion. This is unconditional love. This is creativity. So I feel like you're a creative person. So I do feel this person sparked some creativity within you. I feel your whole world has been flipped upside down with this high priest because this is what we value in life. This is a greater purpose here and understanding. This is higher education, our own ideologies, what we've been conditioned to believe here, and gaining, like I said, personal empowerment. Being in the driver's seat of who we are and what we want to do, because at one point we might have been just floating about here, you know, but not realizing that what we were doing, we might have meant well, and we might have been very pointed in that, but it was superficial in some way, right? So like I said, maybe we were very focused on our career and thought that we had direction. But the answer is we were kind of jellyfish, because swimming in the matrix world keeps us stuck, fixated on something. And then breaking free from that, fixated and maybe we're really focused on that, right? Hanging on to our career or what we were bringing to this world, and then allowing ourselves to go deeper, find a trueness within us, find our authenticity, what really matters, the gold beneath it all. We're no longer interested in superficiality, you know, and I mean, you could say, well, gold is superficial here, but I think gold is top notch. This is winning gold in the Olympics, okay? For those of you guys who are seeing gold as superficiality. And I do feel like at some point, maybe you were a little materialistic at some point, maybe, you know, maybe you wanted the latest and the greatest, and maybe you lived the life of this luxury. And now we're seeing beyond luxury as wisdom being the luxury, as experience being the luxury, as true authenticity being the luxury, as being in touch with our intuition as being luxury, as unconditional love and being compassionate as true luxury, as being somebody who's inspired to act out of love, to create out of a passion, to create out of a genuineness, is much more than superficiality, looking or being and living in a certain way. And so we've had to rebuild ourselves, I feel here, okay? And this has taken a lot of your energy. And I feel like, you know, congratulations is in order here, because somebody who's come this far has learned a lot. Especially if our beliefs were one thing and then we've had to rebrand ourselves as someone different and find balance within that. Because like I said at the beginning, it's not that we've abandoned everything, all our cars and our whatever, our job, our material world, and said, I'm going to go live, you know, in the bush. But there's a balance, and I feel you have this balance, which is, yes, material wealth is important here on this earth, because this is how we're able to impact and navigate through the world. But deeper than that, it's who we are as a person, what we contribute, how we can create here. And we know that we all end up in the same place, right? We all die here. We're not going to die with our cars and our houses. And so it's like, what can we contribute to this world that's going to leave something behind? Because we all end up going. So if we can leave behind a song, a piece of art, a video, something that's going to help someone else when we pass, we've made a difference. Okay. So I am getting here from this lizard, you know, I am getting chameleon. So I do feel like you've had to kind of fit into your environment. And maybe at some point, like I said, there was a superficiality and you realized you didn't fit in, or you had to be someone you were not before meeting this person. you know, and so I do feel a strong friendship coming through as well. So maybe you've met this person and you guys developed a strong friendship, or it's someone you were friends with, or having to be this person's friend, or just unconditionally loving to this person beyond maybe challenges. But I feel like there is an energy of having to force yourself in some way to be something either you're not, or having to adapt in a situation that's uncomfortable for you in order to allow what is to be. Maybe something you're uncomfortable with because maybe you're a doer. So when we have to fit into something, we have to adapt. We have to allow spirit to do what it is, especially if we felt very fixed. And like I said, as a doer, right? And then it's like we have to just fit into some sort of environment, which has us all sort of upside down. So this is what I have. Pile 3 for you, your energy. Okay, and you can crisscross it. Let's see. I'm super excited. Not a whole lot of the connection was coming through, but we'll see what comes through with your person. Spirit, thank you so much for this message. I am so blessed. Let's take a look at pile number 3's person. We have first chakra. Number 1, the energy of root chakra supports our sense of safety in a physical world and reminds us to enjoy our physical bodies. This is like polar opposite energy here, because I was feeling someone who is like 6th chakra, which is our, crown chakra, coming into some sort of balanced union self. First chakra is people dealing with things in the matrix world, addictions, really trying to overcome root chakra type stuff, okay? Which this is appearances, matrix, physical things. Okay, let's keep going. We have Moon in Capricorn, 22 or number 4, accomplishment. Scale mountains to gain a sense of achievement. Wow. Okay, well, I'm getting heavy because the 2-2 here, number 4, which is home, roots, family, foundations. Okay, and number 4 is also the 4th house is children and femininity, and I'm seeing the moon, which is also divine feminine energy, although I don't feel divine feminine. I feel a heavy masculine energy, maybe having to be very receptive here, or find balance within the divine feminine within. We'll see. Abundance. Beautiful. This is solar plexus energy, all about confidence. Okay. Taking action in our own lives. And we have impartiality with the 2 buckets. I haven't seen this one in a while. Paint. So this is giving me heavy Libra, and also temperance, which is Sagittarius. Yeah, temperance energy, Sagittarius energy, Libra energy, balance. Paint, impartiality. Okay. We have surrender to divine timing. Sometimes divine timing may differ from your ego's timing. If a goal isn't manifesting fast enough according to your ego, be patient and trust the universal flow. So egos are stored in the lower chakras, and I'm getting, from the first, and then we have the sacral, and then we have the solar plexus. There's a lot of ego that needs to be addressed in lower chakra. I mean, as we know, divine masculine is very much more in the physical realms, and divine feminine touches more the upper chakras. Because we are more intuitive, not in all cases, but in touch with intuition and the divine and communication with the upper chakras. And masculine's a little more physical here. So I feel like what I'm seeing is there might be blocks here in the lower chakras, okay? Because the solar plexus is finding confidence and the ability and being empowered to do something here. Okay, so surrender worry. Make a commitment not to lead an anxiety-driven life when worries arise. Breathe them out of your body. Focus on the power of your heart and have faith that spirit is guiding you always. Look at that. It's beautiful. We have blame. I accept responsibility for my well-being. Very root chakra stuff here coming through. And we have loneliness. I know that I am never alone. 8 women. 8 women, and they're kind of holding their arms up, and they're all around the world here. The world could be completion, Okay, the world also talks about travel or distance, and the world could be internet. 8 women. Okay, I know that I'm never alone. Sisters. All right, house. We have in the first house, you are who you are, your desires, and your actions. First house is all about self. It's all about appearances, beginnings, the body. That's what this root chakra is here. First impressions, our attitude, how we identify, how we approach life, responsibility. Okay, first house. Very matrixy energy here. Primal energy, I'm feeling, divine masculine. Okay, 63. Cast your sacred symbols, or the number 9. Oh, wow, okay. Feeling Aries, Leo, Sag, and also Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy coming through. We have Tiger. This is divine feminine energy. Tiger. We have Jupiter. Jupiter is ruling planet for Sagittarius and Pisces, the largest planet in the solar system. This giant gaseous planet is made up of hydrogen and helium. Visible from Earth, it appears yellow-orange. Interesting, because we have the yellow and the orangey red here. With a large red spot that results from intense meteorological phenomena. Spinning at a high speed, it completes a full rotation in less than 10 hours. It pulls more than 60 satellites along with it as it moves. Large planet. Okay, let's keep going. We have yellowing, and this is card number 14. Okay. Yellowing snakes here. We have the whale. Oh my goodness. Water energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. I don't know that we're going to have room for everything here. Let's see. Sure hope so. We have communication. More snake hands here and 4 eyes. Communication. We have the visionary with 46 or the number 10. Look at that. I'm getting Aquarius energy from this. We have developing habits and actions to help you turn your visions into reality will guide you on your path to ultimate success and happiness. Wow, beautiful. We have ascending, transcending the obstacles, learning, expansion, new phase, and preparing for union. Yikes. We have prostitute, light attributes. Accentuates the challenges of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirits. Shadow attribute places material considerations and security above self-empowerment. Very first chakra type stuff here, okay? Don't be too triggered with the prostitute here. It's just an energy that we're picking up, okay? So 6-6 with beyond illusion, change your perception. Wow. Change your perception. Hangman energy. And we have the muse. 3 of Cups energy here. Generosity and naivety. And all cups are kind of spilling everywhere here. Wine glasses, we see pomegranates, a harp, and a bird here. Could be another dove. Or did we see dove here? I thought I did. Maybe it was your energy. That doesn't look like a dove. A bird. Okay. And we have the empty room. My goodness. 17. Let me make sure I'm all in frame. Okie dokie. Wow. Pile 3, your person. Let me just tap into this, although it is coming through quite clear to me, but just let me see. I do want to read the whale. Okay, let me read the whale. And it shouldn't be too long here. Whale, whale, whale. Whale. Okay. Desire to delve deeper, profound peace and ancient wisdom. The whale represents profound emotional health and stability. Whale personalities are not afraid of emotional expression or traversing difficult terrain as they have overcome many challenges in their life. These experiences have enriched them, given them stability, strength, and a depth that is rare. Whale energy is usually linked to the feminine forces of compassion and communication. We can depend on whale personalities when all else seems lost and trust them to be the beacon in our darkest hour. Calm, steady, deeply compassionate, and when out of balance, heavy, and it slips into the old story. Regular self-care. That's what this is. And communication. I do have one more to read, and that's this impartiality. Sorry. Because Spirit will tell me what I need to read for a reason. And I don't know how long it is in here, so let's see. I don't want... we're in the gray. Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay. It says, I quietly listen, allowing you to color your own palette. It says, the legend. Bahana is the wise dictator from the town of Beige. She is known for settling disputes fairly. One day, two neighbors are arguing about what color to paint their fence. Bahana gives each of them a can of paint and instructs them to paint their side of the fence, the color that their other neighbor wants. She knows that when they can color their world in love and their neighbors' eyes, they will understand and accept one another. Take an impartial look at your situation. The action here is to listen and observe. If I step back from my present situation, what do I see? Can I be neutral? Neutral position, allowing things to unfold, standing in another's shoes, uplifted communication, guide, open-minded, and fairness. Okay. I do feel like when I write on my finger, usually it's definitely before the reading, but it sometimes comes through in readings, and this came out for one, but I feel in a way it's coming out here. How am I that I see? How am I that I see? Okay, which is what we see in front of us is sometimes things we don't want to see, but it is within us. Everything we see is within us, good, bad, or ugly. So when we see something we do not like, we sometimes think that it is just within the other person, but it is a part of us as well. And then we just have to identify what that part is. And same with the good. Okay, so I don't know, that kind of came through with this story. It's like having to kind of see with our insides rather than just see very black and white that the other person has a thing that they want or an understanding, and then dismissing that as that person or that thing, when it's part of who you are as well. So to see us kind of as one, okay? Especially if we're triggered by it or emotionally charged with what we're seeing because we don't like it, it's more prevalent within us. So not that was a big part of what I'm feeling here, but it was coming through with this story. This person, what's going on with this person? I feel for this person because I feel this person's suffering in some way. Okay, because I feel like this person has not been able to feel empowered within themselves to take charge and be a confident person in their life, to make something happen. And I mean, we don't have to be so much in an energy of creating outcomes so much where we feel we're doing all the work, but we can't just completely abandon ourselves and give up on ourselves. And I feel like this person has probably gave up on themselves. So it's interesting that your energy was someone who felt like a doer, very accomplished. And like I was mentioning, like materialism was coming through as something. And I mentioned, maybe you have like multiple cars or a successful business, or you're very successful here in the material world. But I feel like something's been abandoned in order to live a greater truth. And so I feel like this could be certainly a twin flame type connection. Okay, it doesn't have to be, because again, souls represent to other souls a reflection of what we need to see. And it doesn't have to be a twin that does this, but it's usually very profound and significant when it happens with a twin, because our twin is a trigger catalyst to deep core wounding. And so I feel like what's happening here, especially with this divine timing, I feel like there's a divine intervention in both of you guys coming together, because who you were when you met this person, or how you were at some point in time, is how this person is not, and that's where that story I was telling you about, like, maybe they don't see themselves as someone who is accomplished or somebody who could attain things, and maybe they see it as something that is superficial in some way, or whatever their story is to self. But I feel like there's a need for them to see something from a balanced point of view, okay? But I feel like this person is having to battle things that are so preliminary. So either this person suffers from addiction, or suffers from taking action in their own life, because I feel like this person has given up on themselves, okay, in some way, in some capacity, or a part of their life that they're just not confident in engaging to push themselves towards something that they want. It doesn't have to be what other people or society tells them they have to be. You don't have to have a car and a white picket fence and a family and a home. But what does this person want? Do they want to stay in the same energy that they've been in? No, but I feel like this person might tell themselves this, rather than taking responsibility and accountability and looking at, they haven't showed up for themselves. And so I feel there's a loneliness here with this person, and I feel like this person might suffer from, I can't do it, or the confidence in themselves to do it, so they just don't do it at all. I am feeling this person distracts themselves. Like I said, there could be an addiction, okay? And I'm seeing drinking coming through here. With the Three of Cups, we see a beer bottle here. And even with this prostitute, I feel like it's trading ourselves in a way for something that is quite superficial in some way. So this person might be engaged in things that are very, immediate gratification. And so we sell our soul in some way. So there's a need to come to terms with a divine feminine energy, which maybe you've shined a light on this person to really look at themselves here, okay? But I mean, accomplishment is certainly, having to take proactive approach and things, but it starts with really reflecting on things we might not want to see about ourselves that we've suppressed. And then because communication is coming through very strong, I feel like this person has a very hard time communicating, expressing themselves, what they want for themselves. And so I feel like this person has been kind of dying slowly here. I mean, we're all dying every day because we're not, the more time we're alive, we're closer to death in some way. But their lifestyle or how they've been showing up here is no longer joyful. It is petering out here in some way, and I feel it's because either this person's given up on them, or just what they used to do here is something that gave them life, or that they were focused on is not fulfilling. So I feel like this person is healing. This person is needing to find something greater than, fulfillment in a physical way of however they're doing it right now. And I don't know what they're doing here other than just denying themselves some great truth. That there is someone beautiful under this, and that there is something to live for, and to change how they're seeing things, because I feel like this person might be very much fixated on seeing something kind of in a pessimistic type way. Or like everyone else might be better than them at getting something, or that they don't need something, so they don't do it. But at the same time, it's like they cut themselves off and they're sitting in some sort of suffering here because they're now without, and they might tell themselves that they didn't need it in some way. So I feel like this person might have been, feeling stuck in some sort of maze, or having to find themselves spiritually. And they might have felt like they're doing circles in some way, engaging in behaviors here that kept them stuck in some way. So I feel like they were needing to see a greater version, a greater story of who they could be and how they could get there. and not only see it, but understand that it could be for them and that they could attain this, but they need to be there for themselves. So bad habits, their actions, they might have just repeated the same thing, self-sabotaging themselves by doing things maybe that they're not proud of. So by meeting you, I feel like this person is having to overcome obstacles in their day in, day out life. So this might be their main focus here. This person is ascending in a way that is going from focusing on things that don't matter. And this person could have very well been focused on, like things that just don't matter in their life to give them a sense of fulfillment. Change your perception, and then impartiality with the perception thing. Yeah, so Hangman, it's like they're being enlightened here as to what's going to make them a better person overall. An energy here that goes from engaging in rudimentary base impulses into getting empowered to not being the addict or the reactionary person in their life, to being somebody who is bringing value to themselves, okay, before they can bring value to other people. So I do feel this person might have felt very empty, when it comes to this part of their spirituality, and maybe that made them, I don't know, like engage more in the superficiality. Some of them could have been addicted to sex. I'm getting that for some of you guys. This person could have been addicted to very superficial type stuff here, and it could be self-inflicting pain that they're addicted to. But I feel like this person might have been not having a hope of a future for themselves. They're not seeing it as something that they could have for themselves. And so maybe they saw themselves as somebody who was ashamed, or maybe even, I don't know, like they painted a picture of who they appear to be, and so they assumed everyone's seen them this way. So maybe this person's been very removed, or not wanting you to see their true version, or feeling like all eyes are on them in some way. And so I feel like this person's recognizing that they're needing to heal, and maybe they feel very intensely watched. I feel this person is very deep, and I feel like this person has a great big soul here. That is a part of them that's very expansive, that has been untapped. And so maybe you've seen this person for who they are, like really seen through their soul here. And it might have thrown this person in for a loop, because up until that point, I feel they've been very much in some sort of superficial type energy here. And I don't know how long you and this person have been kind of involved, but I feel like there is a heavy emphasis on things unfolding kind of as they should. So if things are going slow, Spirit is saying here, don't get frustrated thinking that things need to unfold on your timeline, because, and I don't need to tell you that, because I feel like you're very ascended here, but maybe this person feels like, their life isn't quite where it needs to be. And so there's a frustration here, and maybe there's a cutting out of this connection, because this person feels like I should have been somewhere else, or maybe recognizing you in your life as someone successful. It's like now they compare themselves to their neighbor and says, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not that. And if you see the truth of who I am, will you still feel like you feel for me? Will you accept me? Will you love me? So there's a lot of sabotage here, okay? But there's a need to change this perception, because I feel like you see through illusion, and this person needs to see through an illusion of a story that they're telling themselves, and allow this part of them to go, surrender their worry of they're not who they think they should be, or who you might see them as, because they don't even believe it or see it within themselves. And I feel like for some time, this person was so much so of the energy that they weren't saying it was them. They might have just blamed circumstances, like they're having to see that it's not external, that anywhere where they feel they've slipped, it's not because of something else or someone else, that they're whole and complete, but they have to let go of an idea that it is someone else's fault or something else, or that they don't have something, because they do within them. But I feel like this person might be somebody who doesn't take accountability, who's probably not taking responsibility, who'd rather just surrender and not have what, would make them happy in some way, or experience their own happiness, whatever that might be. Again, it might be different than what, society might think as happiness. But I feel like it is a lonely road, because I feel they let themselves down here. So yeah, I feel like this person is kind of having to wake up to this in order for them to become a better version of them, by acknowledging these things that feel so fundamentally basic to, to someone like this, who you are. So I could see you guys are on these like polar opposite sort of extremes, and opposites sometimes attract each other in some way. So I could see, this person being in some sort of state where it's frustrating, because I feel like they're their biggest obstacle, and that they see obstacles where there isn't, maybe as things to put up so that they don't have to face trying. So if they think they might fail, it becomes a reflection of them being a failure. But it's through failing we learn, through failing we become better, through failing we develop strong. Because I feel like this person, you had, like I said, repeating certain lessons here where you didn't just get here. The first thing I said was, wow, this person's journey to get here was quite the journey, which I'm sure, you could resonate with. A lot of failure, and maybe with the success and blessings you've had, some of it could have been, gifted to you in some way. But I don't feel there is such a thing as luck. I feel like through lifetimes, if we're born into a certain blessing, it's because we've earned it, we've worked to it. And so this could be, a soul that's not quite as evolved, so having to learn this sort of a lesson. Although I do feel twin flamish, because I feel like this is a very typical experience of one polar opposite of another, who is going through more matrix lessons. And then this feels more like spiritual, although this person could certainly be spiritual. I feel like there is a lesson here in learning how to break habits, how to take accountability, how to stand up for self, how to not trade our soul, how not to pick immediate gratification. There goes my email, and so that might be significant here. Immediate gratification, focus on things that don't matter. Of challenges in communication, speaking a greater truth, being connected to the divine, being receptive and open to taking charge and having confidence in what we can do, and seeing other people's point of view here and being open to that as being part of who we are as well. So I feel like this person might be more focused on how they appear or what they appear to be. And maybe they appear that they don't have anything to contribute or have anything to give or have created anything within themselves. So shame on them for having a vision or a belief of something greater for themselves if they don't have anything here. But that's all an illusion, because of course we can have a vision, but we also have to take action in our own life and being accountable for where we're at, and then allowing the divine to help us through that, because the divine creates through us. We can't just pray and wish and then have it happen. We have to also get empowered to do so. So I do feel like an inspiration came to this person since meeting you, and maybe they're now on that path of what I got to do. But I feel like this person is still tied in knots. And I feel like this person is, feeling something here that's eye-opening to them. It's their habits, their way of being, that is slowly dying in order for there to be new life, growth. And this visionary in the stars is like seeing a hope, a potential for the future for themselves. But keep kicking habits here, and the actions in their day in life, day in and day out, is what's going to be the reflection of who they are. So they have to, allow themselves, if they want success and happiness, to start aligning themselves with things that make more sense and happiness. And because I feel this person engages with things here that are in line with them thinking they need to suffer, or in line with things that don't give them purpose and value. And so they have to get fulfillment in other ways here, which is, I feel, very kind of superficial, So you're bringing a sort of a vision to this person here just by being in this person's life. Because I feel like you're successful, and I feel like you understand the value of taking action when you need to. So things come very naturally to you, abundance. And they might find you as someone who is lucky, you know. Wow, look at pile 3. They're so lucky. Things come to them. But they're successful because they are successful. It's like, no, like you've had to, learn to fish. You've had to learn to be in a certain energy of welcoming this, but you still had to do what it takes to get this, just like this person will have to do. And maybe they say, well, I don't have the tools. I don't have the thing. But they do. But maybe they're too busy worrying about what they'll appear like, too busy looking at external again, what you have. And then, like I said, my finger, it's like, look at pile 3. I don't have that. And it's like, no, how are you that of what you see? Because what you're seeing is what you are on the inside as well. So if you see abundance and success, you're able to see it. That means that's within you, or else you wouldn't be able to recognize that in another. In order to see and recognize, we have to be familiar with it. And to be familiar with it, it's within us. So this person, if they see you as someone who is successful, I feel they see you as someone who's out of their league. I feel they see you as someone here who's something they can't attain in some way, or be like in some way, or meet up in some way to your level. And it's a sad place to be, and they might blame circumstances and that they're not meant to be like that, and that they weren't given the gift of being in a certain way. And Spirit is really working with them to say, get on that path, be fired up to get on that path, to see your way out of this tangled knot we're believing or seeing that is untrue, in order for us to become the greatest version, to transcend these obstacles and this negative emotions we're feeling about ourselves, so we could prepare for union of self. And then once we do this, we can come into union with another, how we can then provide service to humanity as this person. Because I think this person, you, union, had to do all the inner work to find balance within self, to stand confident in self. So now you can show up in this world as someone other people can see. So this person has to do inner work in order for them to be in union with self, so they can come into union with you. So I don't feel it is something that's hopeless and over, but I feel like, wow, like polar opposite energies here. Okay. Opposites attract for sure. I feel a beautiful soul here that is just really suffering from the, like I said, matrix worlds of, superficial things. And they could be really stuck in that rat race of habits that aren't serving them. So they need to believe in some vision. And maybe they need to, be very open to spirituality to guide them, so they know that there's something more here than just this physical body. And learning to survive in some way. Because that could be a depressing place to be in, right? So this is what I have. I love these readings, you guys. I hope this helped you very much. Or maybe just enjoyed listening to me talk. I enjoyed you being here. And like I said, I love you so, so much. I hope you guys find the very best in this connection. Sounds like two very wonderful people finding your way. And I'm so honored that you are here joining me in this channel. And don't forget to leave a like, a thumbs up, a comment, and energetically exchange with me so I know what you're all about. All right, I will see you soon. Bye.